The show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned.
Oh no.
Welcome back, everyone. When last we left our intrepid squad, they had just bested the Beast of the Deep by pinning it against the wall and detonating their submarine into it. A promptly well-earned maneuver there that earned them all the achievement, Don't Fear the Reaper, which will have some implications later. So if you've recorded that on your character sheet, or if you're capable of recording that on your character sheet somewhere, please do so. If you can't, that's fine. I understand some people using digital character sheets. Maybe just make yourself a sticky note somewhere. But Don't Fear the Reaper. This will affect any creature I dub thee as a Leviathan class, which will happen again. It'll have effects against them.
I added in my additional features achievements.
Yep, because you will get more than one. This is just the first. All right, so when last we left our party, they had, party, that's the wrong term, squad. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting used to saying that after having said party for 10 plus years. The squad had just done that and had safely gotten into the underwater facility, the deep underwater base, through an exploded area. It looks like maybe it was some sort of containment tank of some kind, and maybe they just very vastly underestimated the strength of the jaws on this particular creature, and it just tore through the side of the containment tank like it was butter. Which is what you would guess that they did. The lab you're standing in, I will give you another kind of description of it now, everyone, since we're back to that point. The deep sea base seems all too quiet. The ambience is made more eerie by the red emergency lights that are all illuminated everywhere. The smell of chemicals and rot filled the lab area, at least that's what your suit's telling you, where you all are currently standing. A door to the far side of the lab, and there's also a door below you that leads down. The lab is kind of on two tiers. There's an upper and a lower level to the lab. The upper level has a door. The lower level has a door that goes down. These are like vaulted doors, so you have to turn a little latch and pull them open. Not like, say, a submarine kind of thing, but you grab two handles and kind of go like this, and then it opens. It doesn't look too tough to do either.
Can we tell what kind
your
of...
suits are all also telling you that there's no oxygen in here. You think that maybe that's why all the scientists are dead. Go ahead.
Can I see what the heck what kind of field of study do they seem to have been doing in this lab? What kind of research? Does it seem to be of like
the
bio?
Lab that you are standing in right now is illuminated by red emergency lights. Dotting various consoles are dead bodies of the scientists. Your life suits read that this entire structure has no oxygen. Apparently they all suffocated. At least that's what you would assume. This room has various vats and containment areas for various stages of Leviathan growth. In the lower levels of this lab, there is a hatch that goes down and the hatch that goes forward on the upper level. Apparently this area is like a breeding testing area or a genetic testing facility. As far as that goes, there is some consoles here as well that look like they have some information on them.
Are there any like jars with like a Leviathan fetus in it or something?
Yeah, quite a few of those.
Are they alive?
Is there anything?
No.
Darn it. Could I have a pet?
Everything and every one of these things is dead.
Is there anything to suggest that environmental controls can be accessed from any of these terminals or any direction that they would be in?
The only thing you get from any of these terminals is no power. There's a little thing that just blinks every so often. Maybe there's some backup emergency system keeping everything mildly illuminated, but it looks like everything just says no power or low power.
And no
maybe that's why the oxygen's gone.
Yeah, no markings to any type of generator or power station anywhere?
Not in this room.
That's going to be the first thing I look for, but I'm not exactly certain if I should be splitting off from the party just yet. I don't want to be suspicious or anything.
The door that goes forward, where I say the vaulted door thing that goes forward, says crew mess hall, and the one that goes downward says engineering power relay.
Okay, that's where I'm heading.
All right. Zora begins moving downward towards the power relay. Does everyone follow? Okay.
Deborah looks at the jars for just a little longer than she probably should, and then she follows.
And you follow downward. The vaulted door is quite large enough for everyone to fit through, no problem. When you go down, this area is also illuminated by red emergency lights. The power coupling for the entire base seems to need some repairs before the base can have power again. If you have a tech check, you can make a tech check to fix that. It appears that a large jostle of some kind unplugged many of the things in this room. There are no bodies in this room at all, a stark contrast from the lab.
What'd you say about the tech check? Tech check?
You do believe a tech check can repair the coupling that popped off.
That's exactly what I want to do.
All right, give me a tech check.
Tech check coming up.
Technology check, or whatever you want to do if you're getting fancy about it.
17.
17, that is enough. You bend back the couplings that are all bent and out of shape and bend it a little more there to be more precise to fit into this weird patterned hole. You're not really sure why engineers love doing this, but for some reason, everything that plugs into something has a complicated plug. And so it's plugged in, you get that plugged in, and it looks like there's a lot of other things that got unplugged. You plug all of those in, and then everything seems to start powering up again almost instantly. The red emergency lights go off, and everything in this room looks as though it's illuminated just fine. You do hear an overhead voice that says, "Oxygen production online."
Well, I got the power back online.
Well, that's good at least. Maybe we can find something here.
I just didn't want the chance of our suits getting ripped and us being, well, more scientists.
Dying
As
would
long as
be-
we're here, might as well look around.
Yeah. I mean, hey, dying up here and dying down here and dying up there wouldn't be much different. So,
Except dying underwater instead.
I mean,
That
let's
would be
be honest. Both are going to crush you to death. So,
Unless there's another Reaper. Teeth. Just saying.
Let's not meet another Reaper.
fear the Reaper? I thought we just got the achievement that don't fear the Reaper.
It was
No,
all
it's just
bark
avoiding any
and no
respective
bite.
surgeons.
You don't see any other doors in this area. It doesn't seem to lead to any other part of the facility. It looks like the lab is the only way to get in and out of this particular area.
I want to go back up to some of the previous terminals that we saw and do some data mining. I want to find out any information that could be useful here. Structural analysis,
Sure.
anything that we might find outside, anything that'll get us back into space.
You skim the console. The console, despite its peskily old AI configuration or UI configuration, sorry, this is before AI, clearly, and you can tell.
I was about to ask if it was Clippy again.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's not clippy, but it's not much better. And it's very, very difficult to get a lot of useful information. Apparently, they decided, unlike a lot of other containment fields they've used for the aliens, they would try cost-effective or costs-efficient models here instead of safety. And that's why this maybe didn't work. You see that other facilities where they've tested and experimented on different species from 4546B, they've used enameled glass. But this particular facility, since they had to have created such a thing, they wanted to save money, so they just used plasteel, which is the same thing you would see like giant shipping crates made out of and most parts of the inside of the spaceship. Not necessarily the same thing as a hull, the hull would be made out of more sturdy stuff than just plasteel, you would hope. But they just made this whole facility out of a type of titanium-based plasteel alloy, which you think was probably just not sturdy enough, and that's why the Reaper tore through the place. You suspect the enameled glass probably would have safely contained it. It looks as though a lot of this is just routine examination. They were attempting to find a way to see if this species contained any sentience to them. They seem to be one of the only species from 4546b. There was 3 confirmed species from the planet that showed some sort of sentience. One of them was this particular species, and they don't know if it was just so aggressive that it just interacted with everything you tossed its direction, or if there was something else. So they were hoping to find out something from it. All of their tests seemed to show it was just so horribly aggressive, it just literally attacked anything that moved. And it wasn't, in fact, any level of intelligence. It does show that they have some particular species of strange squid-like fish creature that they called a cuttlebug. That was particularly cute looking. There's a few pictures of it. It is by far the cutest fish you've ever seen. It's got a very cute looking face. It's got a very cute looking small, like 4 tentacled backside to its body. It almost has like almost tiny little hands. It is just the cutest darn thing you've ever seen. And it showed the highest level of intelligence. They equivalated that intelligence of that creature to that of a Terran dog, or wolf in most planets' creatures' intelligence. Probably the smartest one they've ever encountered, they said, from the planet. They didn't bring any here because it was being studied on another planet in the local system.
Of course, if they brought it here, it'd probably end up as food.
Yes, that was their fear, that if any of the Leviathans escaped the facility, it would just scarper them all down because the intelligent cuddlebugs are just too cute for their own good, and sometimes just bumble into things larger than them thinking that it's going to be a friend.
Well, not to effectively take charge of anybody, phrase that wrong, take charge of the party or anything, but I have a couple of ideas as to what Zora would be doing. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Does anybody else have any other ideas or inclinations or anywhere they want to head before I start spewing all my techno jarble?
Nope, Noelle's just on the verge of a panic attack.
Go.
By all means.
Step on the toes, Zora.
No, not claustrophobic, other reasons.
Okay. If I can, I'd like to try and search these archives for any type of blueprints and manufacturing possibilities. If we're going to go anywhere, we need to build something or find something that can either go up or down.
Well, conveniently, you do find a classification in the documentation there labeled starships.
Double click.
It lists 3 starships aboard the craft: the Mesmer, the Drill Diver, and what did I call that other one? Sorry. My notes are very chaotic. There's 19 pages of them, so bear with me.
They're very chaotic neutral.
Yes. And just when you think there's some order to them, there, in fact, is more disorder. And the other one is called the Penguin King. That's the name of the 3 ships.
They all sound like submersibles, though.
All of them are listed as starships.
Yeah, okay. So it's just either me reading too much into it
And
or
submersibles.
Oh, okay.
They are starships that are capable of diving into the deepest parts of the deepest ocean, or the biggest aquatic nebulas that have the most pressure to them of any kind. So they found some almost Jupiter gas giant sized aquatic planets that have had just such incredible pressure on the interior that they needed something to explore them. So they built those experimental craft here. And it looks like all 3 of them are listed as being in hangar.
Okay. I was just about to ask if that was something that was already stored somewhere or if we'd have to build it. In that case, where's the hangar?
The floor plan for the facility state that you have to go through a few more rooms before you get to it.
Is there any
All right,
food nearby? Like a vending machine?
None in this room.
Okay. I doubt there's vending machines. I know you have the 3D printer thing, but... Deborah goes looking around for food.
See on the map, there is a listing of something called the crew mess hall.
I will be in the mess hall. You'll hear in your heads as I head that way.
So
As he opens the door right next to you that says crew mess hall.
So while I'm pulling up all this information, Zora is going to just turn and make mention. Zed, I'll tell them in a moment. Everyone, I found several ships that are currently docked. I can lead us there, or we can take a break, considering we just detonated a ship.
I don't see a rush. It's nice and quiet and dark down here.
Okay.
You do see a thing labeled crew quarters, although you're not sure how many of them died there.
I don't want to find out how many corpses are in that room.
The lab has 15 dead bodies in it. All of them well preserved because they died from no oxygen. And there was no
Yeah.
oxygen in the base until just now.
I was going to start stinking in a few days.
Anyone gonna take that? No, I'm kidding.
All
I'm
yours.
kidding. I'm not gonna eat the dead bodies. It's
Okay.
fine. I was just joking.
I mean, halfway wouldn't expect it. I mean,
Deborah has the
I'm not-
cannibal perk.
I'm not chaotic evil. Don't worry. Anyway.
yeah, I mean, I guess we could just go take a short rest and.
I mean, yeah. Go look around, too.
All right. You look around. The crew mess hall, which is the next area you go to that leads to the rest of the facility, is no longer illuminated by red lights, like my description said. You do see that many dead scientists litter the area. They apparently all died without finishing their meals, some of which you see Deborah has begun to help herself to. The kitchen area would be primitive by today's standards. However, it still appears to be all in good order. All of the equipment here is either compressed food bars or rehydrated meals of some kind. All of the meals that were found next to dead crew members who suffocated were all already rehydrated and well preserved, since there was, again, no oxygen to age them.
So if there's any gazpacho anywhere, it is perfectly preserved for somebody to just dive into.
Yeah, more than likely. Conveniently enough, nothing is soup. Oddly enough, it's very difficult to make dehydrated soup.
There went my joke. Sorry.
But
As I
good mindset, though.
As I casually move a dead
The pudding
body,
is still good.
as I casually move over a dead body, a random one to get food that's underneath, do any of them have like a ID badge or one of those? You know, like they have it on like the zip
All of them
thing
do.
that you gotta like scan at the
Mhm.
doors or something.
Yeah, all of them have one of those.
One hand has like just a talon full of food, and the other talon hand just puts it up to my eyes. What's it say?
It says lead engineer Maria Barkest.
Antoinette. Sorry.
No,
All
Barkest.
right, then just Amanda's just with the food out of that hand, and one of the talons just goes tink, cuts the cord.
Okay. You now have a lead engineer badge. It looks as though it also acts as some sort of like you can swipe it places. You've seen people do that to technology. It makes things do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Deborah holds onto it. She puts it in her bag.
Yep, the crew mess hall looks as though there's still quite a bit of food here that hasn't been rehydrated. There's plenty of filtered water. There's oddly enough, a very large amount of salt. And just a huge, there's literally a drum, like a 50-gallon drum of salt. You think their water separation machine is not like the ones you guys have, where it doesn't just separate the water and then add the rest of the mineral scrap. It literally separates them and then just lets you take care of whatever happens to have happened. So there's a lot of water here, and there's a big 50-gallon drum of salt.
Okay. If there's any containers along the walls anywhere close to that, make sure not
There's a
to
lot.
open them right away. They may have stored some of that extra salt in those containers, and you may be buried before we can get to you. Just saying.
It's a good possibility.
I've done
These old filtration systems did create a lot of salt. You see the water filtration system in here as well. Now that you've turned the power on, it's working again.
Great, we're gonna have that running in the background. I want to go ahead and grab at least a week's worth of the solidified nutrient bars. Effectively, I'm assuming a week's worth of rations.
Does any of this food have cheese on it?
You do see a thing labeled rehydrated grilled cheese.
She does not like that, and she just moves it aside.
Oh no! I just say cheese that's stored in a vacuum is horrible.
Oh,
It separates the oil and the cheese from each other.
I was just thinking more of I don't think the Skathári could digest cheese, so it's probably really gross to them. It's fermented milk, so it's like,
right. Yeah.
One, it's milk. Two, it's fermented.
Outside of there, you also see a door from there leading forward. Forward from that is the... I really wish I had this in better order. Sorry. Is the crew quarters. The crew quarters area was once illuminated by just red lights, but now it's lit up. The crew quarters seem to be relatively unoccupied as far as corpses go. There is one here, and it appears though this dead scientist probably died asleep, never knowing there was no oxygen. It looks as though the scientist is still curled up in a blanket and kind of like with like a happy look on their face, just lying there, dead.
I would say Talurra's probably like checking out the place, see if there's anything good in here.
No, these guys were all nerds. There's a bunch of dice. There's some paper around with weird things on it that says, it looks like they were playing some sort of hospital, a fantasy hospital game.
Talurra, hey, look, they were nerds.
I want to steal the most expensive looking dice because I know those would probably go for a good price on whatever marketplace we can get to next.
On eBay.
There is a set of metal dice that is next to the book that they were using to play their pen and paper game called Defibrillators and Dragons.
Talurra walks up to the D4 like, I wonder why they were using a caltrop for this.
Yeah, I immediately pocket the metal dice set. I'm not walking away without that.
It's made out of gold and has the letters kind of like etched into it in silver.
I may not sell those. Jesus, I will keep those for my personal set.
Me, boss. Go explore and see if you find anything interesting. And the little moon thing smiles and floats off somewhere. It has passive of 10, so I don't know what it would find.
What's its intelligence?
Let me double check. Actually, I think it has the same intelligence as me, being a familiar. So 11.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure I wasn't going to come back with like a really stinky sock and go, look, I found something. Because, 2 intelligence. Like a dog or something. Look.
But if we're on the same plane of existence, it can communicate with me via telepathy.
Okay. Let's see. The crew left behind all their personal belongings, most of which are in useless condition, except, of course, for a few lab goods. And their plastic dice. Oh, it looks like the book they were using, Defibrillators and Dragons, is also in good condition. Oddly enough. Although the board game looks exceedingly complicated, and there's a very large amount of checks involved using dice rolls.
I'd be able to sell the book as an antique.
You probably could.
I'm
taking the dice.
Do one of the tiny 35mm statuettes depict a caster.
You do see a tiny set of like figurines that look fairly well preserved. They're all made out of an oil-based plastic of some kind. And quite a few of them look like doctors or nurses. A few of them look like corpses. And one looks like a dragon that you can actually open up and take the organs out of and put back in.
Okay, Mimas is interested in all of that. So Mimas's mouth just goes and just stores it in its body because it doesn't have a stomach or anything. And it floats back and it pukes it all out to Deborah.
Yep, definitely glad I'm not around Deborah.
Does Deborah happen to know a guy named Gruck by any chance?
Gruck, no.
This sounds familiar.
I heard he was an asshole.
All right, from the crew quarters, there is also one PDA in this room.
A public display of affection, even after all of his death.
Damn it.
Sort of a metal side to it, like the handle is metal, and then the screen is like a thick glass crystal of some kind.
Talon just tink.
It turns on.
What's on?
The Altera.
Tink.
It's a very old operating system.
I tap a random part of
There
the screen.
appears to be tabs at the top. When you click on one of them, it oddly enough tells you everything you have in your pocket. You don't know why it does that. You could just look in your pockets, but one of the tabs actually tells you everything in your pocket.
Deborah pushes it away. She hisses at it.
If anyone else picks it up, the same thing happens. And there is another tab showing different building schematics for a lot of the other facilities around here and how to build them and what materials are needed to build all of them. The only thing missing from this PDA is the starships and the resort. Oddly enough, the resort's not recorded here.
What?
If anybody else wants it, by all means go for it. But if not, I would definitely take that. I scoped out the ships. I was expecting blueprints. This is effectively what I had in mind to begin with.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, if you don't mind, I can hold on to it too. I mean, I still have the other guy's weird little tablet thing.
Yeah, I mean, if
Have you
think
even
you
used
can,
that yet?
Nope.
No one's even turned it on.
if you have,
I can if we want to.
I mean, if you've got a better check for it, by all means. I'm not exactly a tech specialist here.
Oh, me either.
Be careful.
I am.
Be careful of that machine spirit. It is able to scry your possessions. Who knows what else it could scry from you?
Deborah does have a point. You find it a little unnerving that it knows everything in your pocket when you pick it up.
I mean, so long as I'm not holding a corpse hand in my bag, I don't think there'd be too much of a problem.
No, probably not.
Deborah
wait,
checks. Deborah gets worried, checks her bag. She still has the corpse hand and puts it back.
And can the other people looking at you see what you're seeing on the tablet in reverse, or no? Because if they
You can see straight through it.
Right, you can. But if somebody's looking at you holding the tablet up, do they see
It
Is
everything?
it like a
looks
two-way
backwards.
deal?
Okay,
It just looks backwards. They can see exactly what you're looking at.
So,
that might be a concern. I'm going to hand it off to Miriel.
so if you're looking up porn, everyone else sees it.
Yeah, they see it too, but it's backwards. Right.
Mine would be more concerned about the weaponry than anything else, or stolen items.
Yeah. That you think a thief probably doesn't want to hold on to this device.
I mean, as far as you guys know, I have nothing to hide yet.
No, but I sure as shit do. I still have a knife I got at episode 0.
Because I already know about my cool guns.
And from this area, there is another door that says hangar.
Perfect.
I believe this is the destination we were heading to.
Right.
Yes.
I imagine that's where ships would be.
I'm assuming that there's no other corridors or anywhere else that we could effectively go, is there?
Mimas, have you found anything else of interest? Mimas just like
Please tell me it's bumping against the wall.
Mimas just goes like, "Bleh," and then like the dragon's liver pops out of its mouth. Besides those,
The plastic liver from the plastic figurine.
yeah. Would Mimas find anything else with a passive perception 10? Probably not.
No, No,
Okay.
there was nothing else in here. It comes back with a particularly well-sized lab coat that if holes were cut into it, you could wear as a jacket.
Is the captain still with us?
Yeah, he's standing in there.
Okay.
I put on the coat. Fuck it, why not? I tear it up.
You slice some holes in it with your talons, and it actually fits rather perfectly. You don't know why a bunch of humanoids had a jacket with this many arms in it, but they did. Maybe as a joke.
It's
Maybe it belonged to one of your species that worked here. Who knows?
it's white, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to stain
It
it.
doesn't have a name tag on it. It doesn't have a name tag on it.
I'm gonna have to stain
It's
it a
made of
different
some
color.
strange. It's made of some strange material.
Interesting.
That looks really nice on you, Deborah.
Oh, I thought it looked rather hideous. And she's just like looking around and she smiles? You're not sure. Doesn't really have cheekbones, so I don't know if she can smile. Oh, I thought you meant... Okay, sorry. He sent me a private message of what the coat can do. I thought you said...
boy.
I thought you said...
Oh.
It's nothing major. I thought he was saying that like my other stuff does not like the coat. It's like pushing away from it, resisting it or something. And I'm like,
No.
no. Okay,
Ah,
all right. I'll add that to my equipment.
Bright white lab coat. It doesn't have the Altera logo on it, and it doesn't have anything else on it. Like, in fact, none of their lab coats have the Altera logo on it somewhere. It's as if this mega corporation hired like third-party people to work at this facility. You think this facility was their best, like their cheapest made yet as far as cost efficiency goes, and it's very clear why it didn't work.
Mhm.
I want shocking. So shocking.
Yeah. Let's see. Yep, and there's a door to the hangar, and that's all that's here, at least right now.
Well, let's head in.
All right, you go into the hangar. As you open the hangar door, excuse my very bad art. Once I find it. Okay. Some of this is mine and some of this is not mine. And I apologize if you can't see it really well because it was done in colored pencil. So it's maybe not the best. But being that I haven't really drawn or colored anything in well over 10 years, I'd say I didn't do too bad for something that doesn't exist outside of my imagination. So the top one is one of the craft. It has from the front view is what this is, and that's the side view. These are fins on it. And 4 of the fins are white and 4 of the fins are a light blue. There's 2 what appear to be eyes that are made of a yellowed glass and a large central metal facet there that's like a grayish color.
Could you
and the side view.
could you take a picture of it on your phone and like send it?
Oh, yeah, probably could send it in the Discord that way.
That way, at least we get the full view of it. Too.
Yeah, and I wanted to put it up
Um,
on stream, so it's easier to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can see it fine, but the windows are smaller on the overlay.
Yeah, it's probably like,
What is
see right here.
what is this ship made for,
Everyone's
ants?
I can't see it. All right, let me add a picture to it. And the other one, I'll show you while I'm waiting. Figure this out. That's what the one of the other one looks like. You assume that's the one that's called the dive drill. It quite literally looks like a colossal drill with a finned front that looks as though it could easily drill through hard material as well as move through water rather quickly. And the other one I don't have a colored picture of because I didn't get a chance to color it because I started to feel rather ill the last few days, so I didn't get a chance to really finish what I wanted to. I did have a bit I was going to do at the beginning of this entire thing as well. I'll just do that next time. It'll be just as funny. It's not colored, but it looks like a massive penguin.
Oh, geez.
It's a starship that looks like a colossal penguin.
You mean that?
If you look up Penguin from Subnautica Sub-Zero, it's basically the adult penguin. It looks just like that, exactly with colorations, and oddly enough, the outside of it almost looks like soft.
Almost looks like something that would appear in a child's game that has several different types of evolutions with it.
You would think. You've seen some VR games with stuff like this in it. It's weird.
Penguin man.
But it's actually a starship. And so is the giant drill and the one that looks like a very strange fish. There is something else in this massive hangar. Now, I should say size comparison-wise, there is a colossal difference between these ships. One of which, let me get down to my specifications. So you have a size comparison to how gigantic these things are. The dive drill and the Mesmer Mark II, as it's called. The Mesmer Mark II and the dive drill are the equivalent size of a drop ship. So they're big, but they're not huge. Size comparison, which I have a reference there. I have it in the book here. I'll just get it brought up. There we go. Goodness. A drop ship is about, say, 250 by 250 as far as feet goes. And the penguin king, as you know it's called, that giant penguin is quite a bit larger than that. You would equivalent the size of the penguin king to be that equal to that of the Lakshayan battle frames that you've seen, Noelle. You would in fact almost think that this thing should pilot like a battle frame. You're not sure that that penguin can hold any weapons, but you don't know what its weapon capabilities are. Then again, none of these look like they carry weapons.
So these are like personal classification ships in terms of size in the Dark Matter.
I think all of them are in, yes. But I think the Penguin King is a little bigger. Let me see.
But they would still be enough to hold the entire squad, right?
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
The whole squad could fit into these just fine. Yeah, actually, they are all the same size, but the Penguin King just looks significantly bigger. It just happens to look bigger.
Yeah, Talurra kind of looks at Noelle and saying, well, you get the choice. You're the pilot.
Yeah, she's kind of like looking them over like,
I appreciate the penguin because it actually looks natural. What?
Okay.
Out of character, if the penguin pilots like a mech, as in like Pacific Rim, that's going to be a hell of a task to fly in space.
Talurra has a pretty good piloting skill if we need two pilots.
No, actually, in space, it'd actually be a lot easier to fly.
Mm-hmm. Less gravity to worry about.
Gravity. Yeah.
It's not the gravity that is what's confusing my mental image of this. If it's like, Pacific Ring, it's a body type piloting mechanism. How exactly are you going to get any type of maneuverability out of a
Thrusters?
No, I don't mean like that.
Like a mech, so walking is what I think.
Right.
Oh,
but how is that going to translate to actual piloting of the ship when, if it, in an environment that makes a lot more sense, especially considering the planet that we're on? I may just be imagining something completely different, or
yeah, I mean, my brain just goes right to like Gundam or Macross. So like the walking doesn't really happen when they're in space. The legs are there, but they're more or less just for show.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So the thrusters would take over instead of the full-bodied movement. Okay, I'm being an idiot. I apologize.
No, it's a good question. Honestly,
I was thinking G Gundam. That's exactly what I was thinking. I apologize.
I mean, I just want the one that looks the most like ship-like. I'm not really picky. I just want something that can fly me off this fucking planet so I don't get eaten by a.
None of these look particularly ship-like in their
Damn.
design.
This is like I
I'm
said,
gonna
it's
go
your
with
At
choice.
least compared to the average ship you have seen in space. They're all slightly different. If it includes the,
I mean, hey.
or could affect the choice, you could also examine the ships.
Oh yeah, I'll do that then.
I was gonna say,
There is a dossier here listing their capabilities.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at that then.
And if
Okay.
you're going by that logic, the first one that he showed, which kind of looks like a type of aquatic ship, aside from the giant
all of them
penguin.
are.
Well, you've got the one that looks like an aquatic creature that could easily fly in space. You've got the one that looks like a giant
penguin.
bullet with a drill attached to the front of it, and
Okay,
then
I like that.
penguin. So
Okay, so a squid, a penguin, and a drill.
All I can picture for
Yes.
the drill one is us eventually doing the Star Wars thing of just slamming into a ship and then just deploying out of it.
well, that's assuming that the drill would open up into a type of area where we could deploy from and not, strictly used for the drilling.
You land the ship deep enough into another ship. It doesn't matter if it opens up.
So if we're leaving this up to Noelle, we're not going to be taking the squid ship.
I should state that it's not necessarily a squid. Those big things leaving off the side of it are more like fins.
Oh,
They're flat. There's just like 8 of them.
okay.
Makes me think it'd be more maneuverable, but that's my
Well-
If you need a picture of the creature this was designed from, look up MESMER from Subnautica.
That's
MESMER.
what it was.
Oh, the mesmers.
Oh, it's-
Okay.
Mesmers, yeah.
What's a mesmer? Am I gonna hate this?
Yeah.
No, it's a literal creature.
Oh!
Yeah.
I love,
Oh, I like that.
come towards
pretty
the
derpy.
foreign object.
Its wings are pretty.
You won't.
All
Yeah.
else fails.
You won't. You won't like it in game.
I mean, all
Yeah,
else
it's not
fails.
that way in game. No. Yeah, finding
If-
those in game is bad.
If all else fails, if
Oh, that is
once we
cool.
get out of here, we just come back and steal the other ships.
You would think that you could do that. Unfortunately, the ships are all currently offline. Their dark matter drives are not working. There is a jump box here that can jump the dark matter engines and get them started. But you think that it takes quite a large amount of power to charge back up again. So once you've used it to jump one of the ships, you have
That's-
no idea how long it's going to take to
I mean,
charge
like I
up
said,
again.
That's why I said all else fails. We just come back here later and steal another one later.
Just cryotube ourselves and wait for a million years.
Who knows?
All right. Well, yeah. I wanna
So
look at those.
qualifications aside, the dive drill is a dropship by classification.
Okay.
It has communications array, a life support system, sensors, a shield generator, and is pressurized. Pressurized is a special category that all these ships carry. All these ships can travel in the deepest part of the deepest oceans or in any extreme pressure environment just as well as they can in no pressure environment in space. So gas giants, liquid space, liquid giants, any of those, all possible with these ships.
So these are great explorer ships.
Yes, basically. The dive drill has a bridge, crew quarters, and an engine room / cargo bay. The Mesmer Mark II is a dropship by classification. It has communications, life support, sensors, a shield generator, and is pressurized. It has a central control hub where everyone sits, which includes the pilot and the gunners to pilot the 2 guns. You need 2 gunners for the Mesmer to fire each of the 2 guns it has. And it has a crew quarters and a separate cargo bay just by itself. The central control hub also includes where the engineer would man the engines of the ship, and the life support systems are also housed in the central control hub.
So that central control hub is either really big or really cramped.
Right. So the Penguin King is a battle frame classification by what you understand. They apparently have written the word mech, which means something completely different to you. But battle frame is what you would call it. It has an internal transform upgrade where the inside of the ship can be transformed to have only one person maneuver every systems of the ship. So normally it does not function that way. But in a battle situation, you can transform the insides of the ship so that only one person is needed to pilot/control the ship. They can fire all the weapon systems and they can pilot the ship all by themselves from this one transformation, which looks to be completely internal. It has a central control hub where everything is, just like the Mesmer Mark II does. Crew quarters, and a cargo bay that also has a sick bay, something the other ships don't have. The Penguin King has communications, life support, a fabricator, sensors, a sick bay, and is pressurized. And you note that the Penguin King's weapons do not work unless it is transformed, while the dive drill and the mesmer work even if it isn't. The dive drill has a ram attack that does piercing damage that you can slam into different craft from space or whatnot. You also know that the dive drill can fall from atmosphere to planet surface and survive the impact if you manage to land it drill first. However, you can't target people or anything that would be people-esque in size. Only things that would be considered mega in size can be targeted with the ram attack.
Ships and buildings and such.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't hit them if they're behind the location you're aiming for.
True.
Just saying.
Or if they're in said building.
All I can picture is
Also true.
the Titan fall and just dropping the Titan on someone.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much.
I was thinking more along the lines of like Star Wars, except they drill into the command deck.
Yeah.
Oh, this drill things remind me of the drop ships in Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Is
Yeah.
the
Depends
blood
on
ravens?
which faction.
Well, the blood ravens.
Death Watch also. Get that.
Yeah.
I was say
That's what I
the
was
Sisters
talking
of Battle have the best drop ships. Because the Sisters of Battle are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody doubt me on Sisters of Battle. Anyway,
There also appears to be some strange function in the Mesmer Mark II that's not talked about in the logs. It just says additional function and doesn't have any detail.
secret function. So there's like no notation on that at all. It's just like a
Nope.
hidden thing. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
The only note you see on here is that it's listed as experimental array.
Oh, wow. That actually does kind of make things easier for me. Weirdly enough. I personally think that the Penguin King is going to be the best, just because I'm most familiar with frames. The Mesmer is a good second, but with that experimental technology on it, I don't know what that would do, and I don't want to blow myself up.
I mean, I'd appreciate not being blown up.
So I think we should charge the Penguin King.
All right. You're the
The Penguin
you're the
King
pilot.
has a slap attack instead of a You can do it has two slaps where you can just kind of bam or you can bam as it were. They do what's what I write down here. I think the attack that the thing gets is an Ushiga, which is 2d4 plus 4, and each of the attacks do a d4 plus 2 bludgeoning.
Okay.
That you bludgeon. So if you read it just exactly the same as Battle Frame, but it gets slaps instead of
Sword
or
or
spear,
whatever.
They just do a d4 plus 2 and a d4 plus 2 mega damage. The Penguin King also has a missile barrage, which shoots from those two eyes right there.
Okay.
So 2 of the eyes are where you guys can see. The other 2 down here are the missiles.
We're gonna drive a penguin.
No, you are going to drive.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive a penguin. Okay, well, yeah, I guess should mark that down on my sheet somewhere.
So if you want to know exactly what that looks like, I have a link here.
I would. Oops, I hit the wrong button. God damn it.
That is a link to the wiki that shows the creature that the
Okay.
craftist looked like. It actually has the same colorations as well.
Oh, it's cute. I like it. It's got a cool little kaleidoscope beak.
The beak opens up like this. And there's teeth on the inside of the beak.
It looks like a friend.
Lot of teeth.
They're very
In the game, you can actually befriend them. If you pick up one of the children and take it back to your house, you can have it as a pet.
Yay!
Yeah, you can feed them. That's good.
Wholesome, good fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked the one creature that won't just outright kill me in this game.
Don't know that.
Okay. I don't know that. I've never played.
I think the
I
parent.
don't
think
I think the
penguins
parent.
can kill you.
I think a nearby adult ones attack you if you have the kid.
They can damage you, but it's not enough for you. You'd have to stand there and let them nom on you,
Mhm.
and they're probably not going to do that.
Okay. Well,
They might bite you and run away, but
wow, rude. All right.
did I
Where?
also give it a bite attack? Hang on. I'm gonna check my notes.
Change its slap to a bite
yes, I'm
because I
sorry.
think that makes more sense than
It
a
has
slap.
it does have the slap attacks, but it also has a bite attack, which does a D10 plus 3 piercing. So you can actually open the jaws and bite something with it.
Dang. Okay. Wow. So I got a
And
lot
like
of
I said,
damage.
its ranged maneuver is the missile barrage, which is exactly the same as the battle frame. The missile barrage details on battle frame on page 181 of the Dark Matter book.
Okay.
The battle frame is pretty much what the ship is in stats and equivalent. It just has a bite and slaps instead of the weapon.
So it has the same
Okay.
stats, just thematically different.
Stats are exactly the same as the battle frame. The only difference is the inside can transform, so it becomes the battle frame. Otherwise, it's treated as a civilian ship because the weapons aren't active until you transform it.
But so it doesn't have a dark matter engine.
It does.
Battle
They all
frame
do.
does.
That's what we have to charge to get off of here.
The battle frame has an
this
impulse engine and a maneuverability
This one is
engine.
treated as a civilian class ship that can transform into the battle frame.
Okay.
Civilian classification ship has a dark matter engine.
Sorry, Scotty. I just realized I kind of jumped in there.
No, you're fine.
Oh, you're fine. Civilian class ship has a dark matter class 1, which is what they all have.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
They all have dark matter class 1s. The only difference is the Penguin King, when transformed into a battle frame, its maneuverability goes from 90 to 360.
which is a lot better.
So its maneuverability more than doubles.
Quadruples.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So that's I have,
Alright.
I have to remember that's a civilian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once you hit transform, it will become the battle frame that it is.
Should we
It's
perhaps
really funny. But it's,
seek items in the other ships before we depart into the void of space?
Probably a good idea. That way we can have spares.
it's a good idea.
You search the other 2 ships. The ships themselves appear to be relatively sterile, clean, and empty, as if they're relatively manufactured, practically brand new, and preserved due to the lack of oxygen.
Do any of them have better stuff than I'm? Obviously, Deborah's not a mechanic, but I'm just
The only thing that
Out of
stands
character?
out to you, Deborah, is that on the Mesmer, you feel some sort of connection to it magically. But other than that, nothing else stands out.
I was just thinking out of
You feel like
character.
you
Out of
can actually
character.
channel effects through the Mesmer.
If we had the time, I could see people being like, well, this one has a better dark matter engine, so why don't we move this engine to this one, and then move these guns to
Yeah.
that one, but I don't think...
Oh,
They all have the
yeah.
exact same dark matter engine, strangely enough.
Yeah.
Dark matter
No.
is one.
Believe me, Scotty, if there was time we had the mechanics for it, I would sit here and make a custom built fucking battle frame all day.
Right.
I did for Retroverse, and then they never really got to use them.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Was it the ships, Scotty, or was it
Yeah, and then
pets?
I made one that was the Megazord where they all combine, and then they were going to fight the big dragon, but somebody had to blow up the moon. So
Also, Aya refusing to take place in the Henshin shenanigans.
yeah, she refused. But whatever. Anyway,
Rude.
so if everything else is the same, okay. What do you mean by I feel a connection from it? Is it like when I'm in a certain location inside
feel
the
like-
ship, or
Yeah, there's a weird crystal thing in the ship labeled Array.
can I roll an Arcana check?
And yeah,
Okay. I don't know what this is.
what'd you get?
5. I
Okay.
rolled really low.
You don't know what it does, but you're fairly certain you can channel magic through that, and it does something.
Oh, so is it like the system that was on the other ship
No.
that we had, where I was able to cast mega spells through it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
But it also seems to be different. This does something custom.
I cast Fireball. No, I'm kidding. It's not
That was a nice game, everybody.
out of character. It's not an arcane cannon, right?
No,
Okay, good.
no, it's not.
I was about to say you don't want to give us an arcane cannon yet. We're too low level for that shit.
No.
You don't want me casting the mega disintegration ring.
No, it's definitely not an arcane cannon.
Fun fact: you can do that in this game. If you have disintegration as a spell, and the ship has that arcane cannon on it, you shoot the spell through that, and it makes it a mega spell. So you can disintegrate another ship.
The Mesmer and the Drill Diver are both equipped with auto turrets.
Mm.
The only difference is where the gunners sit. But yeah, the Penguin King has the better weapons array as far
Mimos
as variable damage goes.
makes contact with the crystal, and I just attempt spare the dying, I guess, just to see how that spell would go through, because I can cast spells through them. And in case
what level spell is that?
it's cantrip.
It's cantrip. Okay. You see some of the effects and controls kind of illuminate ever so slightly, and you see the effect go through some of the wiring. Those of you outside the ship see all of the fins on the outside of the ship sort of trickle some sort of mesmerizing effect that it doesn't stun you, but it seems like if it kept going, it would have. Almost as if it's hypnotizing.
Mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing, in fact. But yes, so you choose to jump the Penguin King. All right. You have yourself a civilian-class ship that transforms into a battle frame, and it is called the Penguin King. And it looks just like that penguin I sent you the link for.
Sweet.
Which those of you playing Subnautica Sub-Zero, yes, it's the adult penguins.
But ship size.
Not the child one, the adult. But, spaceship size. So it's 250 feet tall.
Nice.
Or in this case, long because it's laying down. You do see that the craft is capable of laying down and standing up, and you get in and out of it through these hatch on the stomach. And the hatch also has an available airlock for departing in aquatic environments.
Oh, cool.
Unlike that strange submarine, which had a weird door that didn't seem to function the way you thought it would when you like reached up to grab it, you were just on the other side and you didn't really know how it worked. Yeah. Unlike that very disorienting thing. This seems less disorienting. It actually has an interlock.
Gotcha. Deborah goes in then, I guess.
Yep.
The inside of the Penguin King is relatively comfy. As I stated, it has the central control hub where the pilot, the 2 gunners, and the engineer can all sit when it's in civilian mode. However, there is a big button right next to the pilot's controls that says transform. And when you hit that big button, something happens, but you haven't jumped it yet, so you don't know. And
I
then
think it
there is
explodes.
Muffin button.
the muffin button.
Pointless button.
Then there's the crew quarters, which can house a crew of up to 10 people. It also has a public mess hall area in that all-in-one area there, basically. And the fabricator is also in that area. It can be used on mineral or organic scrap. The fabricator can. And in the cargo bay, there's also an area there off of that is the sick bay. The sick bay looks like it has a lot of basic medical treatments for all sorts of different various strange things that can happen to you when you're in a very alien environment.
I am disappointed. This creature has no innards.
We are the innards.
Goes into the mess hall.
Okay.
The mess hall has a fabricator and all sorts of other things you can do things with in here. And there's a lot of places to sit down and eat, as well as, like I said, available bunk space for 10 crewmates. And I say bunk space, meaning it's not like you have separate rooms. You
No.
also notice none of them are set up that way. It was all bunk set up. One centralized sleeping area, sorry. But for your first spaceship, you don't think it's going to be too much of a thing to argue about.
I'm wondering, since Deborah has the claws and innate climb speed, I know some bugs do actually like fall asleep and stuff on walls and ceilings. Wonder if she can just like, and then she just, so there's more space for everybody
Stays
else.
upside down on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Just pulls a kiff when he's trying to get Amy
Yeah.
moved in with her.
Yeah. It just sticks to the ceiling. Yeah.
So I do have to ask, when you say bunk space, do you mean like everybody in the same area, or are we talking like multiple beds for multiple rooms, but
One big area, bunk beds around the
Bunks.
outside, mess hall in the middle.
Gotcha.
Done. Pretty simple.
First spaceship. It's like your first car. The windshield's cracked. The AC doesn't work. But it sure gets you where you need to go.
And then
Yep.
breaks down.
All right, so
Right.
we give the dark matter engine a jump, and the power systems for the jumper say estimated charge time 35 years.
I'm sorry, is there something I can hack to speed that up?
You don't think that there is. It's solar powered, and the sun is a red dwarf. Might not have been the best idea for them to have put a solar paneling on a red dwarf galaxy.
Is
But
it really?
hey, you didn't build the place. They did.
Noel looks at the time thing when you turn and goes,
These are really scientists? They seem very stupid.
These spaceships are very well made. Everything else is sketchy at best.
I'm going to go back to any of the consoles and try and look for an alternative power source.
It does
Reactor.
list suggestions that says possible suggested ideas for power sources for base. Nuclear power, available uraninite crystals and other uranium deposits in the planet, quite
No,
abundant.
no.
And nothing was ever done about any of them. It all says idea redacted due to cost. The only thing there says solar paneling. Idea put in print due to cost.
cheap.
And it was
Okay.
incredibly cheap.
So that does beg the question, and I apologize if this is too much meta, considering would we be able to find the materials
could you come back and jump one of the ships later because I'm nice and I want you to use the cool stuff I made that's custom? Yes. Yes, I spent a long time drawing this thing. I really would like you to use at least one of them.
Fair
2
enough.
would be great.
I set them all to self-destruct. No, I'm kidding.
The players say no.
Oddly enough, none of them say self-destruct anywhere on the ship.
Set them all to
It's almost as if putting
self-destruct.
something in there that blows up the whole ship is a bad idea.
Set them all to self-destruct. Ah. Well, it turns out you set yourself to self-destruct 3 times. What?
Oh. Deborah, hit the retaliate button. Any button.
They all retaliate.
I'll retaliate, yeah. Yes, exactly
just-
like that.
I'm just thinking of Megas, where they're all just really obnoxious button commands.
Missiles. More missiles. Even
All of the
more.
missiles.
All of them. Yeah.
Ludicrous speed.
Yep. So once it's jumped, everything on the inside illuminates and lights up. A nice, beautiful selection of blues, mostly light blues. But there's a lot of other different blues that illuminate all the consoles. And the giant transform button is illuminated as well. It's also blue.
Abidi-dabidi.
Oh, I get it. Took me a second.
It did.
Yeah.
The interior lighting of the inside of this is rather calm and relaxing. None of the lights in here look as though they're like bright, blinding white lights, which is a welcome from some spaceships, which for some dumb reason chose to use bright, brilliant, white overhead lighting that just makes everything look awful. And it's blinding, and you can't even look at the ceiling. What if you wanted to put something up there? And you're in
Insane.
space, there's really no such thing as a floor.
And they buzz all the time, and
I
it
do
gives
have
you a
one solution.
headache.
Right. Nothing like that in here. Calm, kind of relaxing lighting.
Are those kind
All
of lightings?
recessed lighting.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, are all of those lightings on the bunks as well? Like,
The bunks themselves have a bunk light, which you can turn on to do stuff at your bunk while you're laying in bed. And then you can turn it off when you choose to go to sleep. All of the bunks have like a privacy door you can kind of slide shut. So if you wanted privacy, you can get into the bunk and just slide the door shut.
okay, I asked
Like
more
a train.
specifically because I know a perfect solution to all that light problem. And I was going to just bust out a light over one of my bunks and just say, this one's mine, but.
No, they have an on-off switch. The bunks hatch in an emergency. If you pound it once, the door opens super quick so you can get out of your bunk in a hurry. So if there's, say, a red alert situation or something.
Well, and how reinforced are these bunks? Are they like escape pod level?
No, no, definitely not. In fact, you don't see any of these ships with an escape pod. You think that feature might be available on more advanced craft.
If that was intended to be a escape pod, that wouldn't be labeled pod. That's in a coffin.
It definitely is about the right shape.
Escape coffin.
Escape coffin, yes.
I mean, if you're going to make it, great. If not, you're already set for a burial.
If the ship is made for vampires, it's perfect.
Right, right.
You don't know, never mind.
Or goths. Or anyone that's not a prep.
Gothic.
Anyone who's not a prep.
Same thing.
You say vampires. Mary goes, my mom wants to know where we are for some reason. What the fuck?
Don't at me.
Jokes. I love them.
Mimas
All right.
barfs up the lower intestines of the dragon plastic figurine in the mess hall.
You know that the transform button can only be activated when the ship is carrying less than 500 pounds of cargo. Otherwise, when it's in civilian mode, the ship can carry 4 tons of cargo. So, if you want to fight something, you have to carry 500 pounds or less in cargo. That doesn't include the crew, that's just cargo. Otherwise, you can carry up to 4 tons if you're in civilian mode. Something to remember. Since it's technically a civilian ship with the transform function to a battle frame.
So find a freighter at some point to dump
Yeah.
all of our shit on.
Yeah.
Don't at my entire No Man's Sky strategy. What the fuck?
We find
you also think that-
we find this exact same ship, but it doesn't have the transformation ability, and it's frigate size.
And it's an S class.
yeah.
Exotic.
You also note that if you did eventually come back and grab one of the other ships, since they're dropship equivalents, they can carry up to 15 tons of cargo. So
Damn.
if you came back and grabbed just one of the other ones, you've got the cargo ship necessary to carry weight, since they're dropships.
We do have two pilots technically.
Technically.
Yeah, I'm a
But
good
we
pilot
only have enough jump for one ship at the moment.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
Well, if we go and find the nuclear power, we could maybe
Is it-
charge 2.
I am quite capable of fabricating all sorts of different materials, given the right minerals.
Oh, I forgot you were here.
I
Yeah.
am. A136RT goes, I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't forget you were here. We can use him to make fuel, and then we can fuel 2 ships, and then I can pilot one, and Talurra can pilot another. Or we can have the captain pilot one if he's not sober.
Yeah, that's true. We do have 3 pilots.
You remember that the Captain Cobble you've saved, his special talent is when he's sober, he auto 10s every piloting check.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So
When
he should
he's
be very
drunk,
sober.
he auto 3s every pilot check.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite.
He's
My
stone
bad.
No.
sober.
I would love to have made him like Bender, but no.
Okay.
That's a different NPC. Oops.
Well, we'll just have to keep him sober, and then we can take all 3. And we'll have a little fleet, and we'll go back home, and everybody will be like, wow, you went on vacation, and then you came back with a fleet. And they'll give me many, many medals, and I will be a hero.
For finding free ships.
Yes.
They are still worth less than the ship that was lost to the replacer.
Probably.
That's probably true.
But I'm pretty sure that ship had insurance, so I don't care.
The captain, did it have insurance?
Nope. Insurance was extra.
Oh no.
Oh, well,
Wow, even in the future, everyone's cheap.
I'm sorry. Have you looked at all of the dead scientists around our feet lately?
I was gonna say this whole future is just late stage capitalism. Oh no.
Oh no.
Just then, a tile on the ceiling's like, clunk.
You think involving this particular mega corporation, that might be very true. Probably not with every other part of the verse, but these early human mega corporations, boy, their capitalism was a really bad idea.
oh hey, there's an old symbol on this wall panel. What's this say? Walmart? Anybody know what that is?
Does it have anything to do with this IKEA stool
I
I found
believe-
over here?
I believe it is
Don't
a.
take that stool apart. You'll never get it back together.
I,
Look
I
like
believe
it's
it is a
like
Terran
fridges.
store for walls.
Oh yes, that makes sense.
Explains why it's on the wall.
Oh god.
Eisen, you are quite familiar with the controls of the gunner positions in this particular ship.
But does it have a cup holder?
In fact,
can-
every console has a cup holder.
Ah,
I was going
nice.
to say I could build you one otherwise.
Let's see.
What's the pilot's chair? Is it the pilot's chair leather?
The pilot's chair is designed in a mostly white with black accent style, in a standard command ship with big fluffy pads for your arms to sit on. It has a kind of, when you're in civilian pilot mode, a control that pilots like this for tilt and all that good stuff, connected to the floor, kind of, so it tilts in any direction. And then it has the big button for transforming. You don't know how the mech part works. You haven't hit the button.
No, just sitting in the seat like, nice.
Deborah's head pokes in.
Well, does
Are
it
we
spin?
leaving yet?
I think we had to charge the thing first.
We jumped it. It's working. The
I
only
thought-
thing we have to wait on is if you were going to take the other ships and that.
Oh, do we want to take the other ships? Do we want to go find some uranium?
Look, we don't have to do it right now. This planet's abandoned. Nobody knows it's here. This base is hidden underwater. Nobody's going to assume there's spaceships underwater. That's
I
the
suppose.
stupidest plan ever.
That is
But-
very stupid.
They did it. So here it is.
My previous job with the hive I used to be on was harvesting uranium. If we need to get some, I would know what it looks like.
See, Deborah knows what to do. We can get the ships right now, and then we don't have to try and find this planet again, because I'm not going to know how to get back here. I was drunk half the cruise.
I have
Does the
remembered.
ship have its own?
I remember its place in the cosmos.
I
I have spells I can bring us back.
Strangely enough, you kind of think the navigation for this particular starship was quite primitive. There's not exactly a star map in this place to show you the star system and where you need to go. They kind of assumed you would know that,
Oh,
or not.
Would either of the tablets that I have some sort of GPS or Google Maps?
I don't know. You could look.
I was gonna make a UPS joke for Universal Positioning System, but that
Hey.
just doesn't fly.
No, that's a good one. We should use that. I'm gonna steal that for something.
Right?
If anybody wants to try a technology check on either of these tablets, I don't have a very good one.
I'm
So-
really good at technology.
So we're
The
gonna.
fancy Go ahead.
So we're gonna do a blind jump, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, we're gonna blind jump.
The
you as a
fancy
pilot.
schmancy tablet.
You know how risky that is.
Oh, I know exactly how risky that is. Yes.
The fancy schmancy tablet that you have, that you got from Dr. Penoble, doesn't look as though it's really been turned on yet since you took it from him. And the PDA you got here doesn't appear to have any immediate identification of where the GPS is, but you could look to see if there's one, at least on the local system.
I rolled a 20 for technology, not a natural.
All right.
20, but-
On which one?
I guess the one we found here.
All right. A 20 on the one here finds all the in and outs of every piece of this particular PDA. It does, in fact, have one single star map. It lists that on regular impulse speed, you could easily get to a space station that is about a week's travel away on impulse. Totally something doable since you have 83 weeks worth of food in the drop pod upstairs, up on the surface, on the beach next to the very angsty character.
Has the other ship burned up in orbit yet?
No, that was going to be probably sometime tomorrow or the next day.
Is there any way that maybe someone with tech can try to uplink to the ship and download its star charts?
We would risk
you don't
encountering
think-
the replacer again.
You don't think that these ships have that capability?
Too primitive.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Entirely
just
too
cheap.
primitive to happen. Yeah, and that would have been extra.
Perhaps one of us could board the ship, hopefully not detected by the replacer. Take the star charts and jump back.
Noted.
I am willing to
I've got
do such a quest.
There's no star charts on the other ship. It was
What?
It was on an autopilot course. I didn't
Oh.
have to do anything other than sit there and drink. It went from A to B over and over again. I can tell you where point B is. It's a week's travel. I had the coordinates memorized. I've done it for about 20 years.
Okay, fair enough.
I
Well-
can get you to the space station we're supposed to dock with, and then we could probably get an updated positioning system for whatever else we need it for.
I didn't. Okay, well,
You didn't ask.
Okay, I thought we were sharing information, but fine. I'm going to take us up to the surface so we can grab the drop pod, and then we'll go to the space station. Is that good with everybody?
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
All right. If there's anything anybody wants to see in this horrible sunken hellhole of dead scientists, let me know before I take off.
Nah, I've had my full of dead scientists.
Okay.
Not the worst I've seen, but it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the cruise ship was worse when we got off the cruise ship.
That was definitely worse.
I guess I won't be needing this. And I just throw the pass, the head engineer pass behind my art shoulder.
Hit engineer back.
Yeah.
Watch, we'll need that out in space.
No, it's still in the it's still in the ship. I just
He just tosses it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I
We
rolled
may
a
need Maria later.
I rolled a 17 for piloting.
All right, 17 for piloting. You easily pilot it out of the hangar bay door, which floods the hangar, and then the hangar apparently drains behind you. You think? You don't know.
I mean,
And then once you're in the water, the craft pilots at, what did I say piloted at? I have it written down here. No, I don't. I'm really great at this. Okay. Half speed underwater, I'm sorry. So it moves at half impulse speed underwater, which is still stupid fast.
stupid fast, yeah.
Well, either way, Eisen, could you take the one turret and someone else jump in the other, just in case there's any more of those big ass Reaper things? I don't want to get eaten.
Here, Talurra probably. Is it a specific skill, or what skill would that be?
Nah, it's just like playing a computer game. You just sit
All right.
down and it shows a target and you
Point and
point
click.
the gun at it, and yeah. It's a simple point and click interface.
All right. Yeah, then Talurra will hop in the other.
All right. It uses your attack bonus to attack with, or your attack check to attack with. I don't think the ship has its own. Let me check.
I think not.
I don't think the
Sorry.
ship does, but I think the battle frame might.
Do you transform the ship?
No, not right now.
Okay. Then you know from a pilot's perspective, the guns don't work.
Oh. Well, that seems like an oversight on this design.
For some strange reason, they thought when you hit transform, that would be all you needed to fire the guns.
I guess this is the safety.
Yeah, the ships
Yeah.
have their fix to hit. The battle frame it's plus
Yeah,
7.
I did just notice that as well.
Oh wait, no, different weapons have different to hits on their stuff.
Okay, well, I guess I'm hitting the big blue button then.
All right, you pop the transform button, and a sort of a haptic suit-looking thing comes down, and the pilot seat you were sitting in kind of recesses into the floor. And as you stand there, there is a helmet, 2 gloves, and 2 boots. As you put them on, you feel as though you can fully control the true awesome power of the Penguin King.
Oh my god.
You have missile barrage, you can bite things, and you can slap stuff.
I am the penguin now.
You're the Penguin King?
I am the Penguin King.
You notice that
I am the one who
it's
waddles.
Not disorienting. It's not disorienting, and this craft is capable of seeing things in quite a large number of spectrums of different light.
I am
Some of which might be beyond what you can see.
I am the feet that are
See a
happy.
ship.
If you see a ship,
If you see a ship shaped like a bat, go the other way.
okay.
Oh god, he's back.
Yeah.
Turned into Batman versus Penguin, Dark Matter.
Yeah.
Penguins.
All right, you get to the surface quite easily and efficiently. In battle frame mode, this gives you the all-struck, incredible power you were hoping for. It just seems way more overpowered in the power feeling that you get from controlling this than your standard Luxian battle frame. You think maybe the battle frames the Luxian use have a different control structure, so it doesn't give you this I'm invincible feeling that this particular craft is currently getting.
Yeah, I always mad with the Luxian frames. It was more like, traditional manual controls with maybe a little digital, not like
Right.
full sync suites.
Yeah, this is full synchronization, something that the Luxians don't do because it makes you feel too powerful. It gives you a bit too much arrogance when you're piloting your giant piece of metal in the vacuum of space.
You're like, I can fight God.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, Noelle's been having like on the verge of this existential crisis. Now she's like, my parents were right. I am a god.
You're like
I am.
I forget what they're called, but they were like the little pudgy guys in Mass Effect 2, and the one guy gained like psionics and he thought he was a god.
Yeah.
The
Volus.
Volus,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's hilarious as hell to send him into the room first.
It's
Yeah.
super Senju Renegade, but yeah, it is definitely worth it.
You got it, buddy.
All right, so you get to the planet's surface quite easily. There on the beach is the escape pod and the same slightly angsty-looking character who is no longer enjoying a drink, but is kind of checking out your escape pod.
Good luck. I really fucked up the propulsion on that one.
And
Oh.
you only notice that he's checking out because you see him climbing out of it, eating something.
Are we taking
And he's
him
kind of
with
sitting on
us?
top of it.
Is that what I would
Do we
rather
leave
he
him
didn't.
behind or what?
Yeah, leave him here. I don't like.
But then we might not be able to come back. He might not be
Um,
so welcoming next time.
I guess
He did not seem to care.
we can ask him. I guess.
I just imagine you now lifting out of the water, point blank with him in the escape pod. Come over the PA. Want to join us?
We didn't
The
leave
giant
her
penguin
going
says to
shopping.
the angsty guy on the beach.
He's just eating like an apple or something.
Yeah. He's just sitting there chewing nonchalantly as the giant penguin walks towards flubs towards the beach there. Scuttles, waddles, whatever you want to call it. Penguin waddles. And you stand the massive battle frame up on the beach there.
I am invincible. Wada, 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 wada.
I was gonna say that's why these have full sync suites. Is yeah, on a Lock Shane frame that would be like, oh yeah, I'm a god. This one's like, I'm god now, and then you go,
Oh well, that was disheartening. That was a good blow to the ego. Thank you for that.
That's what we call grounding.
Yes, very much so. And you get to the shore very easily of the manufactured beach. It looks as though it's actually built to support the craft, which, given everything that they've sacrificed in cost for this particular mission, seems weird that they built this artificial beach to support this particular craft.
it's a little shocking.
Hmm.
As you landed on the beach and you all kind of get out, and assuming you kind of like land it this way on the beach and not standing upright, because
Yeah.
it's just easier
Yeah.
to get out that way. You don't have to like climb down the side of the penguin, which you think is why the outside of it's kind of realistic looking. It does actually kind of feel kind of plush. It's not real alive, but it feels kind of alive-ish in a sense. And then you, as you kind of get out and climb onto the beach there, you notice Locapion, as you remember him being called, or it, or they, or this. It's really difficult to tell the gender, whatever this is. And in fact, you really don't know what it is either, as far as its identification goes. Those of you who want to attempt, though, can give me an Arcana check.
Sure, why not?
Those of you who can succeed.
Ooh, I possibly did.
Oh.
A lot better
I
than the
don't
crystal
know.
thing I did for earlier. I gotta remember where things are at on this one. Oh, 17. There we go. Whoops.
I got a 14.
I don't
All
think
right.
Zora cares.
And they neither does Talurra, so.
Okay. That explains the itchiness.
Yeah, no.
They may be useful.
Ah. I agree. So you want to get off this horrible beach?
Locapion looks around at the beach and looks back at the giant penguin. Are we leaving in that?
For now.
Then yes.
Oh. Okay. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
If you're traveling with that thing, he says, pointing to A163RT, then I know what your intentions are if you intend on helping it. You'll need my help.
Great.
As he points towards A160RT, A160RT looks at the rest of you and just kind of shrugs. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey man, me either.
Noelle just pulls Talurra aside. Are we the baddies?
Are we evil?
What is evil?
Oh boy.
Oh no, I don't want to be evil.
So I do have to ask, when we get into space, what are we going to do first? Something a little good, something a little bad, something a bit of both?
Something a little neutral.
I say we nuke this place from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
And how do you expect to get back to the ships down there?
The penguin just poops out an
Just-
egg. Nuke.
Oh god.
Skathári looks back at this penguin and looks back at you guys. Yeah, I don't think that thing's equipped with an arcane warhead. We're probably not going to blow up this planet if you don't have one of those.
That's the problem. Not that it would be, I don't know, morally questionable to do it. Just we don't have the materials.
What's
would it-
morally questionable?
Why would it be morally
Killing
questionable?
the genetically engineered fish? Or
I don't know,
splitting
like,
the planet
maybe-
in half?
Maybe someday someone wants to come back to it. I don't know.
But then
Would
you're
you?
going
Anthropologist or something.
Possibly.
don't you steal stuff for a living or something?
Yeah, but I don't make it vanish entirely.
Okay.
It's not worth anything if it's all gone.
Can it be worth anything if nobody's alive to appreciate it?
No.
Also, I didn't mean the whole planet. I just meant the horrible facility with all the dead bodies in it.
Oh,
Where the other ships were stored.
Yeah, fuck those ships. I'm a penguin.
I'm not going to pronounce this name right, but in chat, I just noticed this. I'm sorry, chat. Vivacea, I think, gave a plus D10 to Talurra.
Oh.
Hey!
Hey, thanks, Vivacia.
So-
It's Vivacia.
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 See,
They're-
I knew I was
they're
going to
from
butcher it
Jeanette's,
horribly.
From Jeanette's Ghosts of Saltmarsh. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking
Yeah,
I don't know the one.
Blake, you allow the little things I have on my Twitch, right?
Yeah.
Where they,
Mhm.
if you watch a certain amount of time, you get like points on your account, and then you can spend them on things. So that's what that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If the audience wants to donate things to everyone, they're more than welcome.
Thank you, Vivi.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Cthulhu
you
virus. That's
have
my brain could not
recruited-
think Cthulhu.
Ah, that's right. You have recruited Locathion. Locathion's unique ability is
Angst.
Locathion knows quite a very large amount about the planes. Very large amount.
A massive
Locathion can also use magic, but you're not exactly sure what it does yet or how useful it could be. Locathion also tells you he has knowledge of different realities.
Different realities.
Yeah. Kind of like this one, only not. Some of them are dramatically different. Some of them are almost exactly the same.
So, like different phases of the moon.
Yeah. Almost exactly like that. About 14 of them are the same as this one.
Interesting. Tell me more about these realities.
Now, there's a very disturbing one that I'm hoping we never encounter.
Okay. Well, I'd rather not hear about that.
Are
I'd rather
the
not tell
moons
you
made of
about it.
cheese? I hope not. Oh.
Now, there is a reality where that is a thing. Everything's food. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. It's
Okay.
weird.
I'm going back on the penguin.
Screw you
All
guys,
right.
I'm going home.
I gotta come up with a name for this penguin.
It has a name. The
Peng-
Penguin King.
I know, but I have to name it. Name it.
It can have a name
name it
before you.
Kowalski.
It can have a name before you become the pilot.
Isn't it a bad idea to break orbit, or I guess do the maiden voyage without having a ship name?
Usually.
It has one. It's bad.
No,
It's bad
that's
luck to
the-
change the ship name.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not its name; it's the type of ship it is.
No, its name is Penguin King.
Oh, okay. See, I was confused. I thought that was just its designation.
No, the Penguin King is its name.
Okay.
Not penguin, penguin.
Oh, okay. See,
Like
I
the
was
first half of penguin and then the word wing. Penguin.
penguin. Okay, gotcha.
Like how Benedict Cumberbatch.
And
says.
then add the word king afterwards. So the Penguin King.
Yeah.
Because it's a really
Penguin.
big penguin, which,
Gotcha.
or penguin, which is the type of creature that this is. The craft also contains detailed information on the entire species of penguins, are located on 4546b, and lists an Arctic planet that has an interior ocean where they have genetically engineered species of them, and it's quite adorably entertaining.
As
At
long
least
as
that's what they said.
there isn't a planet with them that's a bunch of mountains and they're albino and giant. As long as there's none of that, I think we're fine. That was an oddly specific reference to H.P. Lovecraft, but whatever.
I know what it was.
You do note, though, however, that the last entry into this log was well over 250 years ago. So probably sketchy at best if the penguins are still there.
Hey, everybody, when you go to sleep tonight, make sure to shake out your beds. There might be some skeleton dust in there.
Ooh, make sure to keep it. I might need it for alchemical supplies. Bone marrow
Okay,
is
give
quite
us-
useful.
Okay.
Give the skeleton dust to Deborah.
Nothing new there, then. I don't sleep, so I'll take
Okay.
any of the watches that are necessary.
Mimas takes a liking to them. Let's new them a lot. Not sure how they'll react to it though.
The Locathion?
Mm-hmm.
Locathion doesn't seem to care at all.
Okay.
Like, it gets right up in his face, and he's just like,
Go away.
what?
Is there a check for skeleton dust, or can we just readily find it?
No, you can actually easily tell that these beds were freshly manufactured when this facility was constructed. And then due to the lack of oxygen, if there were any skeletons in this bed, they were freshly placed there. And are still in great condition. However, there isn't any. So you're lucky.
Oh.
Nobody fell asleep or died inside the penguin.
What you're saying, Alt, is Noelle wanting to get boned?
Yes.
I have
Why do
heard.
you think I was on this?
I've heard of a rare breed of skeletons. Ones that of our Terrian humanoids. Apparently they're 12 feet tall. They are hard to find. Apparently they were in a depot somewhere.
I believe I have heard these legends. And also, yes, Talurra, I did want to get boned. Why did you think I was on this silly cruise?
To get drunk?
Yes.
That's
and
part
boned.
1.
There are much safer ways with less travel in order to find a mate.
Yeah, well, when you're stuck on a ship for your whole life.
Like emitting your pheromones into the atmosphere.
All right, well, before we start
As
talking
you
about
do.
my pheromones, I'm going to go pilot this stupid penguin.
Now it's stupid.
Come on, don't let out
As
your
you,
anger on the ship.
As you all kind of realize that there's still a bit more work to be done. You know that you would have to get quite a bit of the supplies, which is a very large amount of them, by hand, loaded from the escape pod that came off the SSL Pre into the Penguin King, which you now have to do by hand since you're not in the luxury of zero gravity. So it may take a couple days to load that many supplies by hand, breaks included, to load them all.
Deborah probably carries a surprising
But
amount.
it would fully stock the ship. At least a day's worth of loading, anyway.
That's nothing. We're on the planet
I'm-
still.
I-
Might as well.
I just think
We can do
surprising
that.
because she has the powerful build thing, so she can carry double what
Oh,
she normally should.
Mhm.
I say, and I mean, Talurra only needs 4 hours of sleep because elf.
It's 4 hours of trance. Technically,
just-
don't sleep.
Yep.
Power nap.
Hmm
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't
Sleep.
the machine break it all down and then rebuild it inside the ship?
I am quite capable of that, yes.
There you go.
Matter is
It's like
still
the same
matter,
thing.
whether it's dark or light.
So it's effectively the same thing. You're still carrying box A from point B to point C, regardless of the condition that the matter is in.
Correct. If you wish the matter to be in a different configuration, simply let me know. Otherwise, I'm quite capable of disintegrating all the matter and reassembling it in the ship. It would still take me about a day to move that much matter.
Yeah, we might as well just move it as much as we can.
Well, as long as you don't go full gray goo on us.
I am incapable of that.
Oh.
It has been put into my program. That is, in fact, what I am programmed to destroy.
Well, at least they don't like subdivide themselves into two versions of themselves, but smaller, and then just keep doing that infinitely.
I am also capable of that, though the function of such a thing would be completely useless.
You want us to do 4 things?
That's it. I'm out of here.
They turn everything to alcohol.
Yeah. Turn all
As
the
you
water into alcohol.
As you
Um,
should.
A163RT begins disintegrating the matter and reassembling it into the ship so that you don't have to do all that manual labor.
Just don't recombine it all into coffee or Janeway might show up.
Oh well, if okay, I'm gonna go sit on the beach then, I guess.
There's a large amount of alcohol in the hotel we can move.
Let's get drunk.
I have this moonshine.
Let me
Let's
see
move
that.
the alcohol
Okay.
and then get drunk.
Ah, that's the good stuff. Good find.
Thanks.
Hands it back to you.
Oh, I mean, you can have it if you want. I'm pretty
But
sure I would
already have
actually.
had some.
Oh, okay. Well,
You'd be surprised the amount of alcohol these scientists kept here.
I mean,
No.
hey, sometimes there's just nothing else to do but drink.
Actually, Zora has something completely different to do. And this is just merely because it's in character and she doesn't exactly drink in front of other words. Sorry.
It's okay.
She would instead actually go up to the top of said structure,
Mhm.
and you would see her on the roof, dangerously on the edge of said roof, practicing her saber forms.
No, okay.
Nice.
flip.
And then
I'm
she
checking
does,
to
and it's really cool.
I'm gonna check to see if I can survive the fall and try to chance it.
This is what are you saying? Is 5th
Oh my
edition? Of
God.
course, you'll survive the fall.
What's your dexterity?
Dex is not as high as I thought it was. That's weird. 14.
You do a flip, no problem.
Oh, okay, cool. I would, for some reason, I immediately thought do a flip, as in the full Futurama reference, where I'm jumping from
Oh,
the roof.
jump
to
off.
the
No, if you
Oh, no.
if you just do a flip while standing on the ledge, it just requires
Okay.
dexterity to keep balance.
Okay.
And I'm not going to make you make a check because there's no check for that anymore. So you just do it if you're dexterity.
I mean, there is
You see a
acrobatics.
tiny-
After you do the
tiny
flip,
Noelle.
after you do the flip
It's not acrobatic.
from the same direction off camera that Noelle was like, do a flip. You hear a horrible crunch sound, and one of Deborah's fingers lands up on the ledge where you're at.
I was gonna say, yeah, you just hear Noelle just.
Deborah's just like just breaks off a finger and gives it to you.
Oh, so she gave me the finger. That's
She
why.
gave you her finger.
I think that means you're married now.
The hell we are.
Do you remember?
I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with that information. I see. A
Do you
finger up there, I'm like,
do you remember from session 0 when you guys had the
I
holding
do.
holding your breath?
Holding your breath contest.
Yeah, that was the reward from that.
Yep,
Yeah,
Talurra has
it's the
that.
same thing.
Oh, jeez.
No, and also I can marry you if I want. I'm the captain. according
Okay, Kirk.
according to maritime law, I have this power.
Don't people usually need to be consensual to that?
That's it. Congratulations, Zora.
Mazel tov.
I do not believe Zora would make for a good mate.
Fuck you.
Oh, now you're offended.
You lack the specific biology in order to hold the egg sacs.
First of all, gross. Second of all, the first one was not of her own will. The
You okay
second
there,
one
Max?
was a complete opinion.
Vex is dying. We're killing Vex.
Always.
Oh, good lord. Noelle's gone mad with power.
Noelle's in the background.
Noelle's kind of sus.
Y'all, I saw Noelle vent. Vote Noelle.
Oh, what is happening? Anyway,
Sus.
so we get their supplies.
Yeah. You get supplies moved over. It takes a day there basically, but it's almost nighttime anyway. Nighttime. It's hard to tell that very easily on this planet. The red dwarf star doesn't exactly give a lot of bright light. The dull red glow that everything has is darker.
Well, there would still be a night cycle when the star itself is invisible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless this planet is tidal locked.
No, it's not. You've seen planets like that. Quite a few of them, in fact. Especially you, Eisen. And all the mining you've done.
You have a surprising lack of knowledge of Subnautica, and I feel like you really need to play it now.
No, I've avoided that game like the plague because the minute someone told me there are giant squid type things, I was like, well, I'm going to actually have a panic attack.
It's not really squid type. There are a lot of things that end up having tentacles.
See, it's not the tentacle. I just know there's at least one thing because I saw a picture of it that looks like a giant squid.
If you have Lassophobia, it's a no-go.
I would say the crab squids probably would give you the scare.
Like
I did almost put one in this campaign, but I made it the Reaper Leviathan instead.
Yeah, and like the
After
Reaper
you
Leviathan,
expressed
I
your
think
fear
is
of
cool.
squids, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll draw the line.
At least it wasn't a terror squid.
Yeah. Yeah, because like it's not so much like thalassophobia, because like I don't mind the ocean at all. It's literally just cephalopods. Like cephalopods actually freak me out. It's bizarre.
I wonder what that's called. Probably like cephalophobia.
It's like cephophobia or something like that.
Calamari is delicious.
Cephalophobia.
I mean, if it's dead, I don't care. I just can't look at them.
Have you seen that one Japanese dish where they have like the back half of the octopus cut open and they pour soy sauce in and it starts going blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
The electrochemical reaction from the salt and the soy sauce causes
such a cool thing.
Around. Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd for that kind of shit.
I like seafood.
I would never eat it.
If I saw that in real life, I'd be like, I'm not eating that.
I refuse to eat a squid or an octopus, and I haven't, and I won't.
I'd try that once, just because it's.
I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try a large amount of food, including some that's made with bugs.
Okay.
I'm not willing to eat a cephalopod of any kind.
I can see where Vex is going from here, as from like a chef's perspective. Yeah. Okay, fine. I would try 100%. It. I probably would not like it, just psychologically, but I would try it.
I've actually had, I think it was octopus. It wasn't bad. It's just really rubbery.
Yeah, fried octopus calamari is really good.
Octopus, when cooked properly, is really good. Octopus and calamari are different. Calamari is squid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, octopus, when done right, is amazing. Same with squid.
I'll take your word for it.
Takoyaki is amazing too.
I'll take your word for it.
Because I'm a fucking loser.
Now you're like a chef or something.
Nah, I'm a huge fan of Asian food.
Have you ever had
More specifically Japanese food.
Have you ever had calamari pizza?
I have not, no.
It's Japanese
Sounds
pizza.
interesting.
It's like normal fried calamari, but they don't bread it. It's still fried, but it's just not breaded, and it's a topping.
Yeah, I've had that style of it before though.
Okay. The day goes by.
Yep.
The night goes by before that though. And as the night of the second day, or the full day of loading, happens, you see in the sky, quite at night, easily seen now, you see the SSL Pre kind of and implode. And the brilliant light from the implosion is not blinding, but it's close. A bright flash, and then a very crushing impact. And those of you who succeeded the check when you were on the SSL Pre know, you're thankful that they didn't happen in the planet's atmosphere. Because if it did, it would have used the mass from the planet in the implosion and had created a black hole. But since it didn't have any mass in the area where the implosion happened, you didn't implode the planet.
Hey, you didn't die.
Hooray!
So you didn't make another black hole. Congratulations. However, it is brilliant and quite a spectacle, nevertheless. And you all feel at least somewhat satisfied knowing that that thing didn't survive.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we
And
killed it.
you are rewarded in a giant fireball cascading down through the atmosphere the next morning,
Nice.
which is the imploded remains of the starship.
Tin can falling from the sky.
Yep,
Yeah.
imploded tin can.
Deborah is, while that was like right after that happened or whatever, since we probably all got ready for it and stuff, she would have prepared ahead of time, start doing some weird like shaman-like dancing in celebration of destroying a strong foe. And she's like making weird rhythmic clicking noises. That almost sounds like a cricket singing, I like to think. Makes weird but melodic movements. I don't know how to describe a quadrupedal insecto humanoid dancing, but
Dancing.
yeah. I'll roll performance because fuck
Lots
it.
of castanets.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I got 18 on it. So even though it's very alien and
you've seen
weird,
those
it's probably
spiders,
not
the spiders
disturbing.
that dance. It's probably like that.
Oh,
It's like one of the dancing spiders, where they're
Yeah.
like, got like motions that repeat, kind of.
I
Kind of jerking sounds.
I got 18, which surprised me. So not bad.
All right. Well, the implosion happened. The replacer is dead, and the remains burn in the atmosphere. You see it kind of doesn't even survive re-entry. It just kind of just explodes in the sky and burns up into chunks.
And it'd be really awful if that thing somehow survived.
It would be quite terrible.
As long as the thing isn't like the Regis Mark V.
All right.
Is
I
everything
guess
packed
onwards
onto
and
the
upwards.
onto the penguin?
Yes. The next morning, everything's packed and ready to go. A163RT stands at the ready and says, "Task completed." All of the
Good
cargo
job.
from the escape pod has been disassembled and reassembled in the Penguin.
Go ahead. You did a great job.
I did not think you wanted the robotic butler, so I left it.
It's fine. You can leave it.
It also looked corrupted. Its data files were inconsistent.
After playing so much Retroverse, I think of a different kind of corruption.
Yes. I was as soon as I was just typing that into the chat. I have to remind myself that we aren't playing Retroverse because Corrupted has ridiculously different.
Yes,
Different
yes,
thing.
it would. Mm-hmm.
That moment of like, oh fuck, and I'm like, wait, it's a data thing. It's definitely not that kind of corrupted.
Can it replace her?
No.
Can it replace her or take a machine?
I am not familiar with the replacer's capacities. That would be best asked to someone who's survived an encounter. Don't look at me. I've heard about them. I've never seen one in person.
Did I witness it? I knew it was taking biomass and from corpses and stuff when I was outside the window and stuff. Did I see it take anything mechanical? And use it for parts?
You did see it taking mechanical things and fusing them onto fleshy things
Okay.
rather regularly.
Maybe we just break down the butler, everything, the mechanical butler, and
I don't know. Honestly, I think if we want that kind of information, we might have to ask people on the space station we're headed to.
let's just leave it.
Mimas scowls and leaves the ship and heads towards the escape pod. You hear some crunching noises. Mimas comes back. We won't have to worry about it.
Okay,
That's
well,
probably better.
I
No
generally
sense
try.
in leaving it all in one piece.
All right,
All right,
let's fly.
Noelle, pilot check.
In case it wasn't obvious, Mimas destroyed him. So
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming. Didn't you roll the 21 for that earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
he
wasn't
put it in
sure
the
if I'd
chat.
be- I wasn't sure if I'd be back or not. So
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's all right.
Noelle puts on the trucker cap. It says penguining on it. And it looks like a little penguin with the bill as the bill.
That's good.
Yes.
And you.
I need
with
to draw
check,
that now.
deftly
Same.
pilot the Penguin King into space. The Dark Matter drive moving at impulse speed gets you well out of any orbitary restrictions or anything, and you are now flying safely in the direction you need to be to head towards the space station with the Captain Cobble's assistance, of course. He gives you the coordinates you need, and he starts telling you where you need to go based on stars in the area. More of the, all right, when you're going this way, keep that star on your left and that one on your right.
You can't tell me landmark direction. Never mind. Okay.
Oh my god, it's my worst nightmare when people do that.
Second
First
star on the right and
left. Damn it.
right on till morning.
We hang out way too much if that's not obvious.
Take a left at the Albuquerque system.
And a week passes. So anything that you want to do for this week, I'm not going to make you role play it. A week passes.
No,
It's boring.
no
It's
one,
space travel. There's nothing to really do.
no one knows
It's
how.
space-
But Mimas somehow keeps all the dragon parts and somehow puts them all back in the dragon model without limbs.
As you say, Talurra probably spends most of her time playing music or making sure her weapons are ready and repaired.
I have something I'd like to throw out there, Blake, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
You actually know the story behind this, but if everybody could give me a perception check, please.
Roger.
Well, I probably failed.
Oh,
Noelle's busy piloting. Noelle's busy piloting the ship. It's
I
fine.
wonder if this should be a passive check. I'm not really sure, but let's go with the roll.
30-20 for me.
Okay.
14?
No.
I got a fucking
What?
2.
Okay. You were probably piloting.
Yeah. Noelle, I was gonna say that's all Noelle's doing is piloting the ship and playing with her dragon that just spawned out of the thin air.
That's fine.
I got a 19.
Okay. That's 2 that pass. Mav, what'd you get? Or Eisen, rather.
I got a rock.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
that's what you used to roll, the math rock.
17.
That's so you actually did get a 17?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you literally got like a 1. So the 17 and 19s would have noticed every so often that Zora is softly speaking as if in a conversation with somebody else. And that's never to anybody of the crew.
It's
Just
okay.
as-
The voices in my head won't shut up either.
Well,
Deborah's
I'll
doing
have to explain this a little bit. Go ahead.
Deborah's doing the normal bug thing where you don't see me unless I come out to get food, and then I hurry and scurry back into the crack in the wall that I hide in. You know, normal
Just going
bug
for
thing.
a scuttle.
Yeah.
Going for a scuttle. Yep.
But, if anybody wants me to explain a little bit more in detail, I can once we're done here. But as far as characters are concerned, you're the only two that notice this particular quirk of hers.
Oh, hey, Bak-chan, thank you for the
Hey.
100 bits. Sweet.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, we just got a ship that's a penguin. If you know what that is from Subnautica Below Zero. Imagine that, but it's a ship.
I'm piloting it.
Yep. Oh yeah, and Alt's character Noelle is wearing a trucker cap that looks like the penguin, and it says penguining on it.
Where's my
Beautiful.
trucker cap?
Don't pilot spaceship to get my trucker cap.
I'm going to make a very small one for Gigs, and then Gigs will have a matching hat.
Aw,
Somehow Noelle's just like
that's adorable.
somehow Noelle's just like gets Alt's trucker beard and just
Yeah.
Can I vote we call the missile barrage the TH missile barrage for trucker hat?
Yes.
Trucker hat missile barrage.
Have you not seen Team 4 Stars, which was Android 13 abridged?
yes.
17.
Android 7? No, 17.
No, it was
is
13.
Part of,
It
yeah,
was
it was
13.
13.
Oh yeah.
Basically, he's played off as a trucker,
Oh,
and he
got it,
has
okay.
the cap, the trucker cap for it as well. So all of his attacks are TH whatever. So TH Death Ball. I apologize. I
TH
probably should have
missile
done that on stream.
Truck-
After 10,000 years, who dares disturb my slumber?
Hi, Piccolo.
Oh, hi, Goku.
Someone watches
That's
some abridged
great.
just a little bit.
Oh, I
Just
love
a
it.
little bit.
I mean, I could break out my Merrick Ishtar voice. That would be fun.
You're really good at it.
Wow. I can only do comedy voice.
All right. So the week goes by. That's what happens during that week. Do you notice anything else about the crew? That Locathion seems relatively standoffish, unless you ask him. He otherwise doesn't really talk about himself at all. Anytime you speak to Captain Cobble about something, he goes off on some sort of story about something that it reminds him of. And usually if he's drinking, the story goes on forever. However, if he's sober, the story is usually brief and to the point. But he has a story for quite literally anything. A163RT has stood in the same spot the entire week unless asked to do something.
Deborah probably asks him to move a little bit so as you can get across the hallway.
Then A163RT would have moved, and that's it. No other movement would have been done at all.
I've been spending the entire week doing 3 tasks in electrical.
That seems a little sus.
Yeah,
Guys,
Eisen.
I think Eisen's the imposter. His name's red on my screen.
Oh,
The mic was on. 4 witnesses.
And what you looking at, bitch?
Sorry. Anyway.
Uh,
To be fair, if anyone's
you're
sus,
right.
it would be Deborah.
I mean, giant bug.
And she does keep scuttling into the vents.
Yes,
Right,
she does.
Right. See? It's very sus.
Just because she can enter the vents, which is something only the imposters can do, does not make her an imposter.
Yo, I saw you in the vents. Nah, dude, I was hiding from the imposter.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Oh,
Deborah
Deborah
survive
of
being
events,
ejected,
tell us
though?
your wisdom.
Deborah could survive longer than anyone else, but she would eventually die.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I will never think that Imposter of the Vent is as good as Panzer of the Lake.
No, nothing is as good as Panzer of the Lake.
Oh, Panzer of the Lake.
Sorry
What is
for the
What is your wisdom?
sidetracks.
Turn on your tow cable.
This is what was happening all week. Just
Yes,
this
yes.
is the group chat.
Yeah.
The group chat that happened all week. You're
We're all
playing
suffering
Among Us
from-
in the group chat.
We're all suffering from deep space madness.
Deep space madness. Just need to get a craft that has some sort of luxury on it. Any luxury at all that's not just booze. All right. So you arrive at the space station that the cruise ship was headed to, which took a week because you were moving at impulse speed and weren't going to blindly jump. But you didn't need to because Captain Cobb knew where to go. So you get here and you notice something strange about the space station. There's not any traffic moving in or out of it. There's people on it, and you can tell it's habited. And you get a kind of a ring from the hangar that says, "You're welcome to come aboard and refuel if you need to, or trade amongst the people on the hangar. But you will not be able to enter the space station proper until we've properly quarantined all the electrical equipment. We've just been attacked by a virus replacer. This is the aftermath of what has happened. Unless you're willing to help us repair what's been done to the space station, you're welcome to stay in the hangar bay with some of the other craft. I'm sorry for any inconvenience."
Roger that. We will dock shortly then.
Roger that,
Please
49.
be wary of any debris in the docking bay. As you approach the docking bay,
Breaker 6-9.
yeah, pretty much. As you approach the hangar bay, you do notice quite a bit of debris in the hangar bay. There is enough space for you to easily dock the Penguin King, as this thing is able to dock ships much larger than yours. So you're able to easily dock the ship in here, no problem, around some of the debris. You get some strange looks because nobody's spaceship looks like a giant penguin, but yours does. So, you get some strange looks from some people, but, that's expected. You're piloting a giant penguin.
Probably a few hours before we got to, or actually no. Once you get the comms and that stuff, and they had this conversation, Mimos is nowhere to be found. Just disappears.
Oh, no.
Can we get some giant mud flaps to put on the penguin?
They have
And it's got you get that sexy girl side pose silhouette, but it's just a
Yeah.
penguin.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
was gonna
penguin.
say.
The
It's
side
just
view
sexy
of a penguin. Yeah.
So I really have to make this reference real quick, and I apologize for the sidetrack. As we're getting into this docking bay and everybody's making the different looks, I immediately started to think of the scene from Mass Effect 2, talking about this Admiral Voss Quib. And
I know
if you-
this one.
yes, she leans over. Tali leans over and says, "Do not ask him about the name." Very first thing I did was ask him about the name, and he goes off on this long rant of not being able to change a ship's ID code or chipset. And I lost myself. I do apologize.
It's Quib.
Which Mass Effect is this
Oh,
one in?
God.
Oh,
That's 2.
Mass Effect 2, and it's
Ah.
on the
Why does 2 have
the
all the
special
good?
mission for Tali.
2 has
He was
all the
best
cool
one.
ones.
one
Yeah.
of the, yeah.
He was
hands
the
down,
best
one
one
of the
by
best
far in terms of story and writing.
Except for the ending. Not as bad as 3, though.
No,
Not as bad as 3.
No, 2 had a really good ending.
Everyone died unless you farmed.
No.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I accidentally got the perfect ending at the end of it.
Always
Well, if
great
you're-
when you actually just take your time playing the game to explore all the details. And when
Yeah,
you
if
beat
you're
it, you're like,
invested in it.
that was great. Everyone's like, God, I got the worst ending. And you're like, what do you mean?
Literally, my friend's like, "Oh, I failed." The first time, I'm like, "Wait, you could lose people in that? How?"
Yeah.
He had his whole thing out. I'm like, "How?" He's like, "Well, I put this person on this." I'm like, Did they volunteer to that? No. Then why did you put the people who volunteered on that shit?
It was basically the game telling you these are the best people.
Yeah,
Use them.
yeah.
I lost literally everybody.
Ow.
Well, if you, to be fair, if you don't do their loyalty missions,
Yeah.
or if you don't like their character enough, Miranda, and decide to go on the suicide mission, there is a large chance that you can lose. There's a slim chance that they still survive regardless.
Right.
But it's not a very good chance.
Right.
Yeah,
I
for me, I don't
apologize.
know. I 100%ed the game on the first run through because that's just how I am in general with most
Yep.
games.
And if it's that good of a game, you kind of do it by default anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I apologize for getting loud and
No, you're fine.
sidetracking.
good.
I was wanting to see how the game ended because I was very interested into the main plot line, and I'm like, I want to see how this ends. And the game's like,
If
I'm
it's
gonna
thrown
punish
behind
you
you.
for not farming and doing literally everything else beforehand.
Well, I can give you the details after the.
No,
I'm
I
assuming
already
Scotty
know.
knows, yeah.
I already know. I'm just saying on my first
Oh.
my first run, it was rough.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna disembark off the ship. See
All right, you disembark off the ship. A lot of the debris on the hangar bay around looks like a lot of ships that were destroyed. You see all of the space station's auto turrets are turned off at the moment. The defense platforms and everything else the space station had to defend itself are all deactivated. There's a large debris field outside of the space station you had to navigate through, which looked like a lot of other various spaceships that were destroyed. There are a lot of people here kind of like sadly fixing injuries to themselves in makeshift methods of various types that look sketchy and probably not necessarily safe, but without access to a sick bay or any means of healing themselves, this is the best they have. No technology appears to be turned on or activated in the area from the space station. Individual spaceships look like they're powering all sorts of things in the area with remote control, with remote powering and whatnot, or cables. But nothing is wired into the space station at all currently. There is a rather important looking security female human standing in the area, overseeing a lot of what people are doing. Other than her, no one else really immediately stands out. There's a rather angry squad of mercenaries in the area that appear to be looking around, and they see your craft land and kind of begin looking your direction with a set of like binoculars of sorts.
No, to keep an eye on them.
Seems pretty sus.
I'm not with this ship.
Wow, thanks.
You are. You're in it.
No, I'm just trying to play it off as much as possible.
As the group of you are getting their feel for the area and kind of looking around and seeing all this happening and kind of getting a feel for what's going on, all of you notice the mercenaries are heading your direction.
Oh boy, here we go.
They're all bringing weapons out. They're all loading weapons. Two of them are in large-sized mechs that have dual miniguns for hands.
Oh, I gotta get me one of them.
I am
Do any of them
immediately drawing
look-
my blade.
Do any of them look reputable or
They're
familiar at all?
Given your background,
I was gonna say, given my character's background, do they look scary?
yes. To you, they do.
Considering I have a mercenary's background, at least I think I do, is on this one. Oh no, I apologize. Mine's not mercenary.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna shut up.
a retroverse background.
No. Mine for this one, it's relatively similar, but it's
I sent you a message.
It's part of the criminal background.
Miri'tesh.
I thought I was still playing a mercenary type.
Oh, no.
Ah, boy, these guys.
Oh, these guys.
And they move your direction and kind of ready their weapons and get everything set up. And their head guy kind of looks your direction and he points towards Nox and Talurra. You two, there's a very big bounty on your heads.
Every fucking time I go
Something
somewhere,
is
I go,
paying a whole lot of money for you to be brought back alive. We don't normally do those jobs, but you know what? If we gotta kill all your friends in a bloody mess and drag you back unconscious, so be it.
I never got on the ship, so would I be able to still in the turret.
Oh boy, they fucked up.
As you begin to question those thoughts, and this is why I wish I had time to prepare, but I don't. So we'll just go this way. Literally appearing in front of you, as if by magic perhaps, but instantly, is a tiefling with kind of reddish, fiery kind of looking skin, short, kind of nondescript horns, a perfectly stark white suit with a white tie and white pants, and no shoes, just smoky, kind of black, inky looking feet.
Do it.
And he's standing there between you and the mercenaries. If you don't mind, I would like a conversation with them before you begin doing whatever it is you intend. They are rather important to what I have to say. I don't know who you are, but you better get the hell out of our way. Well, I suppose if we're going to do it this way, I should just... where was the conversation? I miss mercenaries that talked. Are all of you just so... You know what? Never mind.
It's not worth trying to talk to them.
And he takes a deep breath, and gouting forth from his mouth is a cone of blood red fire. The fire burns so hot that the mercenaries in the suits melt into slag. Nothing is left of the other mercenaries except skeletons. As they all fall to the ground, you barely make out their silhouettes just scorching into floating ash. Oddly enough, the space station and anything else in the area seems completely uninjured. Only the mercenaries were killed. And the tiefling goes, I hate mercenary dust. It's so hard to dry clean. Oh, where was my manners? I'm sorry. Let me introduce myself. I wish to speak to the group of you about something rather important. My name is Dusov.
Dusov. Okay.
That's the short version. Let's just use that for now.
Okay.
Well, guess we have to say there's no choice we have not really much of a choice in this after you help us out there.
Well, you have a choice.
Ask away.
Not a good choice, but it's a choice.
Yeah.
You, your friend, had the right idea, standing inside there, getting ready to activate the turrets. I appreciate his spunk. That would have worked.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if all of you would like to gather around in a smaller group, we'll talk a little more privately if you have the time. At least to listen to me talk for a while. Then you can go about your business. How does that sound?
Yeah.
You were nice enough to disintegrate those mercenaries for us. We can hear you out.
Pleasant.
Let's go.
People willing to talk. Hi, son. How you doing? He says, looking over at Locathion. Locathion looks his direction and goes, Hey, Dad. Why are you here?
Oh, boy.
No, Dad,
These
it's
are
not
the
a
people I told you about.
It's not a
These are the
phase,
people I
Dad.
told you about. We were talking, a long while ago. Oh, this is them? All right, fine. I've already heard this before. None of your sass. Loyalty is so hard to come by. Anyway, well, here's the breakdown. The group of you are in a rather unique situation. That, he says, pointing towards A163RT, is a useful tool, a weapon of sorts, as you will. Any hostile nanite swarm you encounter, it can neutralize completely. You won't even have to fight them. Now, the advantage to that is it can do this on a galactic scale as well. And that's useful for two particular problems that are also galactic in size. One of which is not as much of a threat, but the other which you may eventually hear the name of. It's something that has become known as the Cosmic Ooze. It is a gray ooze nanite event that has consumed an entire solar system. No one is sure how, but every planet and even the star itself has been consumed in the process. It is spreading, it is growing, and if someone doesn't do something to stop it, it will consume everything in the verse. Everywhere. Now, with all the realities I've been to, and I've been to a lot, there's only about 14 like this one. 3 of them are already gone, consumed completely by this great ooze event. I just escaped from one of them. That was a mess. It looks like A163RT was managed to escape through the same rift I did. So that's good. But I've always saved this universe because it's my favorite. This reality is my favorite one. This is where I met her. So I'm kind of hoping you could save it for me. Now, here's the problem. I actually can't help you save it. You see, I tried to save the other ones. Didn't really work out. Tried 4 separate ways. Even tried getting whole empires involved. Apparently politics is something that just muddies up the works and takes forever to get people mobilized. A small elite group is exactly what's needed to stop this problem. And that's where you come in. The group of you are small and elite enough in your skills that you could stop the universe from being consumed by this cosmic ooze.
You hear via the group, minus him, of course, hears via telepathy. Elite. I think he's trying to sell us something.
God.
So
Damn it.
what can we do that no one else can do?
Well, you see, this is the fun part. You are not an empire. You're not large enough that people are going to notice you. You're not small enough that no one can see you. You have access to A163RT, which no one else has. And you have the innate ability to, well, to take out this entire problem and not have anyone else really know that it happened. Also, if A163RT is found out by any empire in the verse, they're going to want to dissect it and use it as a weapon. They're not really going to be concerned in saving the verse. And I'm hoping since you do live in this verse, you are at least mildly concerned in saving. Also, those weren't the only mercenaries that were sent to kill you. Those just happened to be the only ones on this particular space station. Your 2 friends there have some darker story you may want to have revolved, or you're going to definitely run into more of those mercenaries.
I just wanted to go.
Well, then we'll just turn around and collect their bounties.
I like the way you think.
By the way, what were they worth?
Well, that depends on who you ask. Different mercenary companies will promise different amounts.
$15 million double
Prove
dollars.
who they were.
Wow, they really okay. Well, I know what I'm doing with my future in this game.
Becoming a bounty hunter.
How much was Vash?
No,
How much
no.
was Vash the Stampede? I think it was $50 million double dollars.
$50
Yeah,
million.
it was 50 million. Mhm.
No. If it's the whole a different mercenary comes, you'll pay different things. Fuck that. I'm gonna go make the MRBC. Call me Jamie Wolf.
Who wants to be bounty hunters with me?
A definitely needed profession and a good way to make some money. You'll need a special engine to get your friend close enough to that cosmic ooze. It's inside a dead magic stone.
I don't
You'll
like
need
it already.
special sensors as well.
I really don't like it.
Right, so find
Admittedly so.
find some special sensors, find some special engines, save
Probably.
the universe.
Probably a better ship.
Noelle,
There's nothing wrong with that
Noelle,
one. Needs a bit of an upgrade, perhaps, and a bit of polish.
Noelle would probably know of the gnomes.
But a
Yeah.
better ship would be a good idea.
I do know of the gnomes.
I just get the faraway look with the gunfire sound just from Alt there. I know what they know.
Stay away from me, Lucky Charms. I know that's Leprechaun, but close enough.
I mean,
I will say, because I'm gonna steal this from the chat over there, because Vex had to say it. There's a moment, and then Noah goes, "Oh my god, another fucking magical destiny! I can't believe this! I'm going back on all." And she just starts like walking in circles because she's so mad.
You're welcome, Alt. She's weird.
as you say that kind of out loud in your frustrations, Dusaf looks your direction and goes, "Another one? What do you mean?"
Oh my god, my parents wouldn't shut up about me being some reincarnation of some ancient member of my family and that I was supposed to be a celestial and bring back peace and order to the whole thing. And I don't care about that. I'm not a celestial. I just want to pilot a ship.
Who's to say this isn't the magic destiny they were talking about?
Oh god, I hope so, because I really don't want to deal with this.
If the whole universe gets destroyed, I would say that's probably setting balance to things by saving it, wouldn't you?
Probably.
Maybe this is the destiny they're talking about. I mean, I could go over to the celestial heavens and talk to them for you and come back if you want.
Oh, good lord. No, please. No, Amy.
They do know me over there, although they're not all very on par with me. They do know me.
No, that's okay. According to your son, I have a celestial following me around, so.
Yes, you do. I can see it. Rather annoyingly right behind you.
Yeah, I mean,
I just imagine Noemi, the celestial, is just standing there, like arms folded, just like smirking the whole
Just like-
time. Like,
She's very smug right now.
You can't see celestials.
I've never really tried. Sometimes I would see things when I was half asleep, but I was half asleep. I don't care. Anyway, back to the actual thing. I don't want to talk about this.
I keep forgetting you mortals can't see spirits. Sorry. I just assumed you knew it was there. That's why I didn't say anything at first.
It's a long story.
To me, it's like a bright light in a dark hallway. It's hard not to stare at it.
Yes.
The fact that you can't see it may or may not be a blessing. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm just ignoring it. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
I ignored it long enough. Eventually, it'll leave me alone.
You know,
No,
that would
that's like
work on a
trying to
lot of
ignore
other
the sun.
species. Celestials are unfortunately not one of those.
Oh.
They're persistently persistent. Any other questions? Admittedly, I can't actually help you on the task, but I can point you in the right direction.
Well, that would be a good start
Well,
at least.
Pointing us to the right directions of either new ships or new engine pieces or whatever materials we need to gather would be great.
If we need a new ship, I can at least help with that. We can just go back to the St. Vincent and I can fill out the requisition form to get an actual fighter.
Oh, you know where the St. Vincent is. Nice place.
I work on the St. Vincent.
Ah, I've been there before.
Oh. I'm so confused. I just wanted to go on vacation.
Technically, you did. Unfortunately, reality has a cruel way of intervening.
I hate reality.
You and a lot of other people who are addicted to VR, my friend. Anyway, you do need a few things. Unfortunately, before you can get them, you might need to help these people fix up their busted space station. If you want to make a checklist somewhere on a PDA or whatnot, you do need a few things to modify or add to an existing craft if you choose to keep the penguin. No, sorry, penguin.
It's Penguin King.
They all look the same. Oh no, the beak's on the top. That's so backwards. How does it eat fish? Well, anyway, enough of anatomy. That's still very distracted.
I know, that's why I want to get an actual fighter.
Well, you will have to find one, but nevertheless, you will need to upgrade the Dark Matter drive with a quantum chip.
You need a quantum.
Which unfortunately are quite hard to come by. So you'll need the quantum chip, and you'll need modified sensors that can sense mass of nanobots. Special sensors.
Quantum chip. Sensors to find masses of nanobots?
Yes. Basically, they'll make them appear on your star map almost like a planet. Normal sensors can't detect them because while solid mass is not solid at all, are in fact almost gaseous. So sometimes they're not picked up by sensor arrays as well as they should be. Well, that's basically what you need to find. And you'll probably have to do some other things along the way. Small caveat. Something else has come in from that broken reality. And it was very disturbingly weird. It apparently seemed to have the ability to corrupt those replacers. Now, I don't know about you, but those things are already frighteningly hard to kill as it is. If someone's kind of managed to find a way to weaponize them, I would say that's very scary in the sense of we need to stop whatever's doing that. So a save the universe side quest, as it were, might be to find out what is corrupting those and stop it.
Quest? We were already on that quest.
Tired.
Well, now there's more.
What's the name of what's the replacers, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just writing that down.
Yep, no problem.
Sorry, I know that accent came off more Scottish than Russian, so I apologize on that.
It's
That's
fine.
so good.
It's
Accents
space.
are hard.
Accents
Yeah.
are hard.
It's also hard to
Accents
do
are
a
very
Russian
hard.
accent on somebody that has the original quote was in a different one. So
I'll be honest with you, I can only do small Irish accents, and then for some reason it just goes Scottish sometimes. And I'm not sure why, since I do a really good dwarf and never accidentally go Irish. So I'm not entirely sure how I do that.
Yep.
But
And
I do it.
Meriel's supposed to have some French in her, and I just never bothered to learn the accent well enough.
Yeah, honestly,
I was-
That's a difficult accent to
Oh.
French
I was
is a
gonna
really hard
say,
accent.
like, Noelle's supposed to be French. I think I'm doing more German.
nah, yours isn't very German.
Okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something that isn't French.
We just need to watch more French movies.
yeah.
I think you get points for doing anything that's not English. So.
I
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to be able to do a French accent because I used to speak French.
The point of the game is that
I live in a bilingual
you're
country.
clearly a different. You're clearly playing a different character, and I think that's what counts.
Mhm.
Right.
One
So long
thing-
as your
one of-
voice doesn't sound like your normal voice, as it were,
Yeah.
any accent is still technically an accent.
One of these days, I really should make a character that uses the Miri'tesh voice.
Yeah, Deborah's pretty much just me and lower and a little more raspy, almost like a smoker voice, I guess.
It's his best impersonation of my character Varth from the Trackless campaign that ended.
Yeah,
I always thought
Because
that
Varth spoke like this when he talked.
I always thought that sounded more like Imperfect Cell.
I mean, yeah,
Kind of. Yeah.
I also fits
Yeah.
that.
It's very much like that.
I'll take that as a compliment. because it is.
Right. Right.
Anyway,
As far as I'm aware, that's all you really need to get. Oh, you might need to fix the ECA, however, before you can find the nanites.
XECA. Okay.
The ECA stands for Elven Communications Array. The humans built it in Elven space using their technology to connect communication devices across the entire verse. It's down in a very broken way. I suspect there might be one of those replacers involved, so don't go looking after that right away, because, well, the whole universe is blind without it. Maybe it's better that they don't see what's going on yet. Also, you have to fight a replacer, so possibly.
Yeah. I don't
Not
think
an
we
easy task. Maybe be more prepared before you go to that one.
I'm not here for a suicide mission, so
No.
And you can't just blow up the whole ship. You have to have it completely intact. So there's that. It's a giant space station that was built using Elven technology to interconnect the universe. It works really well when it works. However, now it's very broken. Although the alternative would be to help the dwarves build one. The dwarves are capable of building one. But they'll need your help to find the pieces. So I guess that's an alternative. Although it could be more searching. But still might be easier than fighting a replacer. I'm not sure.
I think anything's easier than that.
for now.
Yes, I have seen them get hit by a barrage of rockets and stand up. So yeah, perhaps.
Well,
Any other questions?
No.
You know, if I could just take you there myself manually, I would, but I tried that once. Didn't work out.
yeah. If it didn't work, then it's best to not.
Yes. Also,
Alright.
and he points over to you, Talurra. Don't eat cheese. If an orc gives it to you, you're allergic.
All right then.
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure this universe is that way. It's difficult to tell. In
If-
one of the universes, you were lactose intolerant to orcish cheese. Just be forewarned. If you happen to run into an orc that's a good chef, don't eat any cheese. Deadly reaction.
Not surprised.
Laura.
Cheese is the deadliest substance in the verse.
I can see why you would say that, yes. Well, I'd like to say good luck, but it's going to require skills, so happy piloting. And just remember, don't ask any empires to help you. They might be able to give you assistance if you say work for them. He points towards you, Noelle. But don't ask them to use their military to help you. It
Okay.
doesn't end well.
Right. Just ask for favors. Don't ask for actual help. Got it.
No military assistance.
Right.
Favors, completely different story. You might be able to get some military help with a favor. That counts as okay.
Okay.
Don't straight up ask for military assistance.
Right.
That. Also, don't let them see that.
What?
Any
Oh.
place you go, don't ever let them see alert. If they
I'll-
see alert, you're in trouble.
Right.
All right.
Sorry, wish I could just fix it myself and not have to get you involved with it, but
Ah,
out of the people I've asked, you were the only ones who made it as far as you did the last 3 times.
could be worse. I have nothing better to do anyways, aside from she kind of looks at the remains, aside from deal with those assholes, but
They're just absolute wimps. Just hope that, well, you know what I'm talking about. He points to you, Meryl. Just hope they don't get the Mantis Squad involved in chasing them down. Those
Yeah.
Ooh,
I was gonna say,
that's a rough patch.
would Talurra know about the Mantis Squad at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the effectiveness
Yes.
of the Mantis
I
Squad.
was gonna say, considering isn't Mantis Squad Elven, right? Too, however, because that was something that Hera's character was talking about being part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Talurra is probably very familiar with them then, considering what she did beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Talurra. Yeah, I know best to avoid them as best as possible.
We'll stay out of their way. They'll stay out of ours.
Hopefully. It depends on how big the bounty gets. Whatever
Yeah.
wants your friends there is willing to pay quite a bit of credits.
How much
Those
is that,
guys
by
were
the
going to
way?
get paid 10,000 for the group of them alive.
Damn.
That's quite a bit of credits for 2 people to be brought back alive.
I'll say.
But whatever is after them is willing to pay quite a bit. And I'm willing to bet if it has that level of credit on the field, they may be willing to pay more. So an immediate threat might be finding out what wants your friends alive. Maybe they know, maybe they don't want to tell you. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way, you need to find out what wants them alive, because that's going to interfere with your overall mission regardless. If mercenaries are constantly trying to hunt you down,
Sounds like fun.
well, I'd love to stay and chat, but our conversation has taken exactly the amount of time I hoped it would. Because if I talk to you for 5 more minutes, bad stuff happens. So, good day. I wish I could stay and chat longer, but I really don't want to bring that sort of bad news down on you. If you don't mind, I have to go distract something very large. Good day. And he literally instantly disappears. Arcana checks.
Wee!
Want to make a check.
Oh wow, I rolled really well.
12.
Yeah, everyone's really well too.
23.
Oh, that's all.
23 as well.
Yep.
19 plus 4.
17 plus 5. Wait, 5?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got a 22.
Yeah, 5.
I got a rock.
I'm sorry. 22, I think.
What did you get, Errol?
My math.
What's magic? I got a 9.
Taking after your mother.
That guy's casting crazy spells. Did you see that fire?
That was crazy.
It's nuts. What'd you get,
Good.
Deborah?
12.
12. Okay, same thing. That's some crazy
Wow.
magic. Just wow. Oh. All right. So those of you who did succeed, those of you not wanting to hear this can headphone for a second if you
Sure, why
wanted
not?
to not hear it. But you that succeeded are fairly certain that that was definitely not a human or a tiefling in any way. And you're pretty sure that that might have been what the stories have told, been a dragon in human form. Although the type of dragon is unknown, as you know, no dragon with blood red fire.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
What's a strange man?
I'm
That
pretty
is-
sure I already know what it is out of character, but, you know, I want to keep it a surprise in
Okay,
case
so you
I'm
do
not
know
right.
what it is.
Damn it. Oh, well. Okay.
Okay. Well,
I guess we should get fueled up, get ready, stocked, and ready to go.
yeah.
Don't we have to save the station first?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Big thing that they made mention of.
And that's a good time to stop.
Is there something wrong with my eyes?
There.
I was gonna say, her eyes went from like that nice blue color they were to like they're like gold, like golden white at this point. Just,
I'm going to go have a
you-
breakdown.
You appear to still have 2 of them.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. I'm going to go and have a breakdown and then cry and then I guess try and see this fucking celestial.
Couldn't get any more fucked up than my eyes. One's completely white, the other one's completely black.
That's pretty metal though.
Have fun, Noelle. Make sure to come back and help us when you're done.
No.
Sorry, I meant to mute.
I'm just
Those
going
of
to
you
revel
paying
in my
attention?
future business prospects. An independent bounty hunter with mercenaries coming right to her.
Yeah,
Not to
you
do
say it.
shit.
Hey, we have a very fruitful business relationship.
Yeah, we
You
got something
certainly
going
do.
on.
And that might be an option for earning credits. Say for engine upgrades.
Yeah.
Might need that, yeah.
More and more ships.
Uh-huh.
We're just gonna get an armada, fly that shit in.
And who knows what anomalies we'll encounter deep in space as the party begins their epic quest to save the universe from the cosmic ooze. So, any plugs?
I've got one, if nobody minds.
Fire away.
Go ahead.
This is actually for one of our chat friends who donated some bits. We have another DM that's doing Dark Matter game, Jesse, and I'm in that Dark Matter game on Thursdays. He's uploading them to, was it Chatbox first?
Chatbox.
Castbox.
Castbox, yeah. And then YouTube
Castbox, and
the
then
next week.
YouTube later. And it's a completely different adventure in a almost completely different universe by technicality. But it is just as fun, just as intriguing, and has a completely different cast except for me. So it's definitely worth a look if you like the Dark Matter stuff. On that one, I'm actually a Leonin artificer, so it's a completely different track from what I'm doing on this one.
Also, I may or may not have done some art for it.
Is that a segue?
It could be.
It
Sounds
is.
like a plug segue, because you're
Oh.
next.
Dang, I'm next. Okay, well, you can
That's
follow
what you
me.
get.
Yeah, I guess. You can follow me at Altaziel on Twitter. I do art, like I mentioned. I haven't done a lot recently because I just moved. So things are a little crazy right now. But yeah, I do art there. I'm actually also writing a new story right now, so I'm going to post that and post a link to it eventually. Yeah.
I'll go next.
right.
You can follow me at Colliloquie on Twitter, and I also sometimes use Instagram. I primarily do art and drawing. I am a big fan of drawing cute girls or Pokemon or just really cute, aesthetically pleasing things. Art's a little slow right now because art's a little slow for everyone right now. So if you want to give me a reason to draw something, I'm open for commissions.
Where might we find you for the commissions?
At Colliloquie on Twitter. That's where I work out.
Okay, that's under your webcam. So, yeah, there you go, people.
Ah.
There.
All right. As for me, this week on Thursday, Scotty and I are in a game on my channel at Fractured Moon D&D, where we are playing Saffron Academy, which is a game ran by our friend Aya in the Bubblegum Shoe thing, where it's a magical school. And we are going on our first mystery adventure, pretty much, as a thing. We're trying to find out who poisoned a Minotaur to make them go mad at a party.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. We're all like university students going to a magical school. Scotty's in it. Scotty plays a snobby chef elf.
I have an idea for a new recipe. It's that guy.
And I play a cat girl musician, because of course I'm playing a cat girl.
Yeah, I thought our first mystery was figuring out who's going to be the club treasurer, who's the VP, who's the president.
Shayna will punch everybody in that room if that happens.
Hey, Scotty?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about that character?
Yeah, sure.
Would it happen to be based off of the chef from Final Fantasy 15 at all? Just curious.
Hey, it's really odd that you mentioned that, considering the background that he had for most of the game.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to ask that out of curiosity.
And also, he's totally not in love with Callie's character.
What? Of course not. Who could love that cute bunny creature, Baka? Anyway.
Aside from that, though, also starting in a few weeks, I'm not quite sure when yet. Hera hasn't decided. We'll be starting a masks game on my channel as well, with Hera and a few other people. Actually, no one in here, surprisingly, which is
Yeah,
weird.
for once, I'm not in your game.
It's weird. No, Alt and I are in a shit ton of games together, so. But yeah, it'll be a fun game. It's more or less, it's based in a kind of X-Men world kind of thing, in a way of like mutants are accepted, but they're also hated by a lot of people. Like mutants are a thing, but they're hated. And it takes place on a school in an island off the coast of Germany, like in like that little like alcove in the sea.
My knowledge of X-Men says this is a bad idea.
Oh, no, what are you talking about? Nothing bad ever happens on the mutant-only island.
Of course.
Yeah, they got the best security.
My knowledge of X-Men means this is going to be a great story regardless.
I mean, I'll just give you a little spoiler.
Yeah.
Literally, the when we came together thing, we get attacked by we in our first day we get attacked. So,
My God, is that Senator Mitch McConnell in X-Men? Yes.
but yeah, aside from that, that's all I have currently.
All right.
Scotty?
All right. I'll close things off, I guess. If you like the show and any other shows that are hosted on this channel, the past VODs are down below. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, just click my channel name and I have all those playlists of all of them. The next game that will be on this Twitch channel will be Mists of Kryn's Valley, which is a mix between the Humblewood campaign setting and the super popular 5th edition adventure Curse of Strahd. The group just found themselves a journal of some kind, but they're kind of dealing with a bunch of mobs of snakes. So they got to deal with the snakes first, and then they might see what the heck this journal is about. And one last quick thing. I think it's a little late to be saying this for the US, but I'll say it anyway. Make sure you are registered to vote, and please vote. I don't care who you're voting for, please vote.
Yeah, just, do your democratic thing.
Yeah.
Just as a side note,
You want to vote for Kanye
That
West,
campaign
vote
has
for
already
Kanye
had-
West. Whatever.
sorry, I was just going to reference the Mists of Kryn's Valley. We have already made the Indiana Jones jokes, so just so anybody's aware.
Yes, they're dealing with lots of snakes at the moment, so of course Indiana Jones references.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously. Why wouldn't there be?
Mhm.
I mean, we just unearthed an ancient journal and immediately get swarmed by a ton of snakes.
It's very Indiana Jones.
Okay, correction, because it's Ravenloft and everything's disturbing and sad and horrible. They got attacked by what they thought were zombies, and it turned out they weren't zombies. They were swarms of snakes inside the skins of dead folk.
Oh,
Or snakes piloting human mechs.
Right?
I mean,
And the poor
It's
poor
meat
warlock,
jacket at that point, so okay.
and the poor warlock with her powers of friendship, patron, who's trying to be friends with these snakes. They're just like, food, yummy. And she's like, no, we're friends. And they're like, friend, delicious. But yeah,
Friend,
that's everything for
delicious.
me.
All right. Well, those of you paying attention notice that our dear friend has been watching this whole time secretly over my shoulder. Was missing from the last episode because I forgot to place the child in the back there. So keep your eyes peeled. The child will be moving around in the background as episodes of this campaign happen at various places. So keep your eyes out for that and stay tuned for the next episode. Space Cowboy.
2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Wait.
Bye.